Hello, my science lovers. We got a new episode of Spirits of Science coming up. With me are two really awesome dudes. One of them's named I always said Haunty. It's not Haunty, although that would be an interesting mix of your names. One's Hannibal and one's Monty. And they're from a show called The Shit Show. They have a swear word in their title, which is kind of awesome. We're going to talk about Valerie Thomas. We got our cocktails ready. And let's go ahead and thank my patrons here. I got a really cool patron video, so I'm going to take a moment to thank them, and then we're going to do our intro. All right, let me unmute you guys. Boom and boom. So, I also need to say Derp State, Mark Sykes, and Rhetoric and Discourse. I got to add you to my video, so I'm working on that now. So, Monty and Hannibal, welcome to Spirited Science.
Hey, yes. ScientistMel, good to finally be on your show. We always have you on we always have you do the intro to our show, so now we get to be on your show.
This is so cool. You guys it's awesome to see you so busy. So I'm so glad you guys are busy pumping out content. Your content's a lot of fun. I like being a part of it. It's always a good time on your channel. I always enjoy it. So thank you for always having me on there. It's cool.
Oh, well, it's always fun having ScientistMel on the show. And well, I'm gonna talk about it in a second. Monty, how about you take it?
Yeah, it's when we started this show, we thought we always thought, or I always thought when we were starting it, that we needed ScientistMel as a palate cleanser before we fill your mouths with poop.
I
didn't ask about it. I'm restraining myself from saying too many things.
Yes,
that may be.
I've slipped up a bunch on Mel streams, so y'all know what you're getting.
Yeah. No. Look, listen. I used to manage an adult video and novelty store or mini stores, so I'm learning to police that. So I am going to be on my best effing behavior today.
Well played, Hannibal. Well played.
Oh my goodness. Best effing. I always kind of thought you could always, if I'm going to swear, I'm going to try to swear like Deadpool. I'm like,
right. You're going to just take it all the way to
just take it all the way. But you can take like the actual like 4-letter words instead of saying like the, you just like poop spackled fart muppets, it just,
Nice. That
You
you
poop
might have
spackled
you might have
fart
created a new
muppets. Do you not know
created a
anything?
new patron level for us just now.
Yes. Poop Spackle Fart Nugget.
Yeah.
Nuggets or Muppets?
That's gonna be our $100 level. Hang on, where the fuck is my notebook?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. You guys can be a bit looser on the
Muppets.
Yes.
poop spackled fart Muppets. Yes.
That's going to be the highest level once we hit our next Patreon goal.
Yeah.
This is a little bit okay. So this particular, just if I have viewers out here who've never seen this episode or this type of show, the show is called Spirited Science, and what we do here is we have people hop on this show and they talk about a particular scientist or a concept that they find interesting. You don't have to be a scientist to be on this show. We make a cocktail based on the concept or on the scientist, and then we sit around and we just talk about it. It's a really easygoing type of chat, and it gives people an opportunity to learn a little bit about a scientist or a particular concept and enjoy an adult tasty beverage. So.
Yes. And later on in the show, I will be wearing a lab coat. I meant to grab it before I came out. And I might pass it off to Hannibal in a bit and be like, hey, you participate in the conversation while I go get my lab coat. When I got dressed.
You need safety goggles too, Monty.
Yes. I'll put my glasses on. How about that?
I
used to count at the print shop. Does that count in science?
Sure. I mean, why not? It depends on what you're doing in your lab, Yeah.
Yeah, I was the guy that mixed the colors at the print shop I worked in, and they had a safety goggle rule, so they always said, you're wearing glasses, you're okay. I was like, I don't know, that doesn't sound the same.
Right.
But okay.
It's really kind of not, but that's okay for now.
Yeah. I was like, no, that doesn't sound the same. But if you think so, those glasses are uncomfortable. Okay.
When I worked in industry, I had to wear safety glasses on top of my glasses. So
really?
I think that gave me a little bit of exponential nerd cred at that point, because not only did I have on glasses, I had to have safety glasses on top of my glasses.
So you were like 6 eyes.
I was 6 eyes.
Well, yeah, okay, so yeah. I had to do some quick calculations, and after I peer reviewed my study, that number is accurate.
Was it all the scientists in your head that peer reviewed it for you?
And they all wear masks just like him.
Yeah.
Is that what all the cool kids do anyway?
Yeah. So. All the cool kids do. So tonight we're talking about, and Monty, you picked this particular scientist.
I did.
Valerie Thomas. So tell me, what was it? What drew you to choose that particular scientist for this evening?
I'm going to be honest and say when we were picking a scientist, I started my search by looking for black scientists.
Fair enough.
And then I scrolled through a list of black female scientists. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah. And the illusion lens, is that what it's called?
Yes.
I saw that and saw her,
mm-hmm.
and I was intrigued by it. So I said, you know what? I want to research more on her. I don't have time right now, so let me do it before Mel's show. I'm interested in this woman, so I sent it to Mel. That's how I found her.
Yeah, she invented the illusion transmitter.
Yes.
Yep. And they use a lot of that in satellites. So we'll talk a bit about that.
And too. Movies.
Yeah. And that's probably going to reach into television aspects as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
And surgery.
They talked about how they use some of the technology, how they use it for 3D mapping technology in films.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you know what else NASA uses it for? You might like this one, Monty. Stellar cartography.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know the first thing about stellar cartography.
You don't know stellar cartography? That was what Captain Jean-Luc Picard said he would be doing if he wasn't the starship captain. He said if he couldn't do that and be an archaeologist, he would do stellar cartography.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do have an Enterprise right over here. We can it's well, I don't know. You can probably see it on the stream on the channel. Yeah, I got an Enterprise right here. It's NCC 1701, man. But this actually came
that's
with
a classic right there.
Yeah, but this is the newer one. This is the J.J. Abrams one. One. Yeah,
all right.
It actually holds a DVD. I don't remember how to open it.
I
Yeah.
used to have a Starship Enterprise cell phone when I was in high school, and believe it or not, ladies still loved Hannibal. So yeah,
Yeah.
Hey.
despite it was not an easy phone to talk on. I had like that phone, like I had a football phone, a cheeseburger phone. I had all these phones that just was like, and like for what? It was no purpose to having
Yeah,
these.
Star Trek phone. Funny little ScientistMel fact. I had to take speech in high school. Guess what my informative speech was about?
What was your informative speech about?
Star Trek, The Next
Oh.
Generation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say one of the speeches that a captain gave. I was trying to run through random speeches.
He was trying to think of all the different speeches it could have been. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
thinking Locutus of Borg talking at Wolf 359. You know what I mean?
I totally would go full on Ferengi, man. Just
Oh, man.
Ferengi speech.
You know, and that reminds me, and I hate to do this on your show, Mel, but we need to do a version of the rules of acquisition for the shit show.
Ooh.
But save that for later.
I like it a lot.
I wanted to plant that in Hannibal's head so he reminds me later when I forget about it after this show.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
saving it now, like the rules of acquisition.
The rules of acquisition. Okay.
Amazing.
All right. So,
out of curiosity, do you have a favorite Star Trek captain?
oh man, I'm probably gonna, it's, you know, William Shatner was his own thing, you know, and so that's pretty cool. I thought he was kind of like the jam, but I really enjoyed Picard. It's really hard to just, you know, it's just he was just awesome. Jean-Luc Picard was just awesome. He was on top of his game. I don't think Patrick Stewart ages at all.
He doesn't.
He really doesn't. He's like the Dick Clark of sci-fi.
Yeah, he's the Billy Zane of Star Trek. Like he just doesn't get older.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Billy Zane is awesome, for the record. I always have to.
Is Billy Zane awesome?
I enjoy the shit out of Billy Zane. What are you talking about?
Watch your language, buddy. This is not our show.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
Mel.
yeah.
I'm
okay. Swearing is okay here because it's adult oriented. We just don't need to do like.
Nope.
You know,
I'm
anything.
gonna Steve Rogers him every time he says something.
Yeah, Hannibal's just gonna go language.
Language. Oh gosh.
Every chance I get.
Someone say hi to everybody in the chat. Hello, Amanda Cortex. You guys need to get her on your show. She's awesome. She's Brief Brain Facts, so she does like neuroscience. She's
You're
really
welcome
fun.
on the show.
You are welcome anytime. If any friend of Mel's is a friend of Hannibal and Monty's, you know what I'm saying. So we are Hannibal and Monty of Hannibal and Monty's poop show, right?
Poop spackle fart muppets.
Hannibal and Monty of Hannibal and Monty's 5H1T show.
5H1T. That's on the Twitter.
There you
So
go.
NA's there. Kristen Frost, Andy. Hey Andy, what's up? We got Alan. We got Blue Sar. Hey, Karis Crane. She was one of the first ones that said hi. How you doing? So we're here having tasty adult beverages. So let me talk a bit about the cocktail that I made for this show.
Yes.
It's called the Valerie Thomas. I looked her up and I was like, where was she born? And what I kind of do, if you know, I could probably do a whole spacey, sparkly looking thing, but I'm just like, man, you know, who wants? I don't know about all that. So I thought, let me see where she grew up. So where she grew up, one of the fruits that they had, like the main export, is apples. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I got me some apple vodka. I'm like, I'm going to try to make something that tastes sweet, but has a bit of a kick. Because looking at her history, this woman had to fight pretty freaking hard to get where she was going. And so what I did, I got me some apple vodka. I got me some vanilla rum, and then I got some cinnamon schnapps. Now, it's 1 part apple vodka, 1 part vanilla rum, a splash of cinnamon schnapps, and then you add some cranberry juice. Now, you don't taste the cinnamon, but it's just a little bit of heat. But it tastes kind of tart, but you got the smoothness of the apple and the vanilla, so it kind of tastes a little bit like pie. You
Okay.
can't.
Apple pie.
Kind of like apple pie a little bit, but with a little cranberry type of feel. So you get the tartness from the cranberry feel. So I would say maybe a cobbler.
Yeah.
But it's
I've
quite
got
nice.
some in the fridge right there, and I'm waiting for Tish to get back because she's going to pour it when she gets here because I'm going to taste it when she gets here. I thought
Oh,
she'd be
man.
back by now, but she
It's
mixed it all up.
nice.
I just so I don't drink, which is ironic because I've literally been in charge of alcohol for the last decade at all the jobs that I've worked at. But I don't drink. So what I'm going to do is after the show, I'm gonna make the drink and then let Shayla drink it.
There you
And
go.
then when she gets wasted, I'll ask her how good it is.
There you go.
And I wanna respond to somebody in the chat, Sir Marvin Main or Manister?
Manistar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, listen. Hannibal's mask is of Hannibal.
Yes,
Like
this
that is intentional. Like this is Hannibal. Meet Hannibal, Sir Marvin.
Yeah.
This is nice to meet you, Sir Marvin. So Monty, and I'm gonna give credit where credit is due because I don't want people thinking that I don't. Like Monty decided, like we were talking about designing custom masks for me because I normally will fluctuate between other masks. Like I got a guy Fox mask over here,
Yeah.
Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Finish him. Yeah.
Right. Look,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
Jason Voorhees. I got Hannibal Lecter. I have 70, 80 masks that I fluctuate between. And Monty was like, you know what? I want you to have your own mask that represents you and the show so we can have our own thing. So Monty designed me a mask from scratch that is a collapsible, interchangeable mask. So there's an addition part to it that becomes a full face mask. I can
Wow.
off the mouthpiece, you know what I'm saying? So my mouth has more exposure. So this is a custom Hannibal and Monty 5H1T show mask, so yeah, this is the brand new.
Yeah,
made from
you
scratch.
guys should have like an auction for one. You know what I mean? Be like,
Yeah.
support this stream, buy a Hannibal mask.
Yeah, nice.
$300. I can make you a Hannibal mask. Just hit me up.
Yeah, and Monty, and he made another one just because. He was like he wanted to see if he could make another one. He made another one, and it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's right across from me right now.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So probably, and so I try to, just as an aside, Monty is an artist. If you haven't checked out his stuff, it's awesome. But here's the thing. The logo that we have for the show is a derivative of your original logo that you made for the Science of show.
Yes, it is. I remember making that.
So somebody, so all of the shows that I have, the base main logo is based on your original logo. So like my This Week in BS, we got the atom that's going into the garbage can. And we got Spirited Science where we got this little chemistry hookup with a little atom on the side. And it's the same font. It's all the same. So
Yeah.
So Monty actually made my original logo for the show.
And I like that you still use that atom. That atom, I spent a little while trying to make sure it didn't look like atoms I've seen in other logos. So I'm glad that stuck around. That was the piece.
You should talk to Peter. He's known as Gonna Go For It. He actually has made that intro that I've got, and he's made all these screens and stuff for me. So he took your original logo and just ran with it, and so it's really awesome.
He's done a great job. Like I'm not mad at it at all because honestly, I didn't have time to do any of it. So, Peter, you're a badass. You are a wonderful individual.
Yeah, I'm about to say language, Monty. Language. I just want to point out he's not even trying. Okay, he's just completely just throwing caution.
Oh my heckin' heck!
Yes. Well, gosh darn it to heck! I'm sorry, Mel.
Don't be a poop spackled fart muppet.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Registered trademark of the 5H1T show.
Yes, we're stealing Mel's thing, and we're gonna do it the other way around. Black people are gonna steal some white people shit.
That's okay. I don't mind.
Language, Monty. Language.
Things. things.
First off, we don't talk about cultural appropriation. All right, we save that for our show. We don't talk about that on Mel's show.
I try not to do cultural. I
sorry.
will say that I have expressed to other people that I'm allowed to say ninja with certain rap songs. So because the other word's not my word, and I recognize that. That is, I do not want ownership of that word. So I can say, if you're feeling like a pit ninja, go and brush your shoulders off. You know, I can say ninja.
Yeah, and that's the thing I tell all of my white friends. I'm like, I know you like the song and you want to sing along and you don't want to pause because it breaks up the flow of singing along. Because I've tried it and I know how that feels. It sucks. Yeah. Ninja is pretty close.
Yeah,
like, you can even sing the Chris Brown song with Lil Dicky, like, "What up, my ninja? Big ups, my ninja." It works.
Do it with neighbor instead of ninja because it flows better. Like ninja, like the J in ninja kind of slows down the progression a little bit, but neighbor flows. So what up, my ninja? Big ups, my ninja. You something ninja because I'm saying ninja. I'm supposed to be saying neighbor. See, I'm giving advice.
Are you drunk, Hannibal?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, so I just did the Jay-Z one. If you feeling like a pimp, neighbor gone, brush your shoulders up. I think of Mr. Rogers. I think of Mr. Rogers rapping when I hear that. So I don't know.
That's why it's awesome. That's why.
But Childish Gambino did it in the radio edit of Redbone, like neighbors creeping, and it sounds the same. Hannibal's right.
Mm-hmm. Neighbors creeping. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to tell Hannibal he's right that often because Team Monty.
Oh my goodness.
They don't know about Team Monty versus Team Hannibal.
Yeah. He keeps trying to downplay it, but then he'll start campaigning for Team Hannibal. I think he's trying to play a psychological trick on me.
No, it's
not
not.
It's Hannibal.
No trick. It's just everybody that's on Team Hannibal. Just know that if you're on Team Hannibal, all your dreams will come true. And that's a promise.
Is that an illusion? Are you transmitting an illusion right now?
He is. He's got an illusion transmitter built into his mask.
An illusion transmitter. Gosh, this
an
sounds
illusion
like
transmitter.
It sounds like a comic book. An illusion transmitter that's built into a villain's mask. How cool is that?
Wait, I wanna second Nana on saying everyone here. He or she says smash the thumbs up button. We don't say that because it sounds very aggressive and like you're forcing yourself onto this button. I would say aggressively interact with that thumbs up button, or only if it consents to it.
Yes, consensually touch that like button.
Yeah,
but
no, it's got to be hard. Like
it's like Don't break your computer.
Yeah. Make sure the like button wants it, but aggressively interact with it.
Yes. Oh no, Mel's like button definitely is consensually giving you the go ahead to say yes, I like this show. This is a good show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mel, do you agree with that?
I agree with that. I agree with that. It's give it a good pounding.
Yeah. See?
See, I tried to go PG with it.
I'm cheeky
PG-13.
sometimes. I'm cheeky sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I went NBC. She went like FX.
It's always sunny in ScientistMel's Nerd Cave.
Oh man, how awesome is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, and I have to say, all of us are broadcasting from our nerd caves.
That's right.
There are so many nerdy details to be found.
Oh yeah,
in everyone's background.
Well, see, mine's is the least because mine's is just a wall of comic books, just splattered on my wall. You guys got the actual nerd references. We ought to do a drinking game where every time somebody picks up a reference in the background of one of our backgrounds, they have to do a shot. A shot of the Valerie Thomas.
Hellboy. Yes, a shot of the Valerie. So here's the things that I chose to mix. So let's go ahead and knock this out. This tends to work really well. Is it Cruzan? I don't know how to say that. Is it Cruzan? That's the vanilla rum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That worked out all right. It's not too high in alcohol content. I went with New Amsterdam apple. And it's not too bad. It's about 70 proof. So the cruisin' is about 42. This is about 70. So it's not like going to knock you off your socks, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a saying in London. So I guess I'll say it has some swear words in it. So, you know, because I never swear. Not on a stream. Oh goodness. Okay, so
Yes,
this
not
one.
on a stream.
Okay, this one has a swear word in the title. This is de Cooper or de Cooper or something, and it says "hot damn." That's what I have the cinnamon
But
schnapps.
that's not you. Made it seem like it was way worse than that. Like,
Yeah.
it was just
It's like,
like it was
hot damn. You know.
intercourse in the park. You know,
Yeah,
replace
yeah.
intercourse with, you know.
And it's like
another word.
boinking in the
Oh, yeah.
park.
Yeah.
That
Boinking.
sounds like a drink, doesn't it? Boinking in the
Yeah.
park.
Yes.
Boinking in the park. Boinking in the park sounds like a restaurant, a very nice kale restaurant in New Jersey. But then it would be in Boinking, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I'm going to set our highest Patreon goal on our show to be that if we hit that goal, we will open the restaurant Boinking in the Park. It'll be just enough for us to hire the chefs and the people to run it so that we just make money off of it. And we can say, yeah, that's our restaurant. You know, we take some other dude's dream and put our name on it and we get to call it ours. That's how much money I want.
Oh my goodness. I need to start making t-shirts. I have several different things I've said that people think are funny. And I need to put it on a t-shirt. So yeah, it'd be, you know, several different things. Boinking in the park.
Sounds like a crime. Yes. Nah.
Oh, it's for sure a crime. Like, it's not. You don't have to. It's not like it sounds like it just. Yeah, Nana is right. And not available. Not available. Not applicable.
Yeah. Tell us the proper way to pronounce your name, because you've been on fire in this chat, and I'm sure I'll mention you again.
He's one of my patrons. So Nana,
Right.
Nana, Nana. So.
Nana? Right.
Yeah, I think it's Nana. So sometimes when he super chats, I'll be like, Nana, Nana.
Look, I'm gonna, for the rest of the stream, Nana, I'm calling you Batman when you say something I find funny. Is that okay?
You know,
okay.
Hey, I got it. He's sodium funny. Na.
Oh, okay.
Sodium.
Yeah,
That's the chemical
sodium.
symbol. He's sodium funny, like so damn funny, but he's sodium funny.
Yeah, sodium funny. Oh, the science show.
ScientistMel. Like, we were on our show, you would get plunger points for that. So
Yes.
Oh, plunger points. I strive to get plunger points.
Yeah. And look, I'm giving out plunger points to anybody in this stream if you say something funny. I'll write it down, and if you never come to our show, you never get to see your plunger points. But you'll have plunger points waiting. I'll keep the backlog.
And those points that are seemingly completely worthless are actually mostly worthless.
Just mostly. Mostly worthless, not totally.
Yeah. They have one purpose. So,
you know, the motivation is strong. You know?
Well, we can set it up for them to get prizes and stuff at the end of the year. So it'll be like, you know, like the people with the highest amount of plunger points.
Oh, I'm about to set it up where I don't know how to talk about our fans on a PG stream. The poop heads will be able to wager their points with each other so they can gamble.
Just call them the 5-hit. The 5-hit heads.
Yeah, the 5 heads. 5 heads. 5 heads. They have to gamble their points. So.
Oh my goodness, I need to adopt a plunger point system for my own streams. I should really do that.
I'll show you how to do it.
Awesome.
Like, talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should probably get back on topic.
Yeah. Let's get back on topic. Look, no, you know what happens when every time you've had me on the show.
Well, you remember last time we were on Spirits of Science, me and my friend Andy were out in your neck of the neck of the woods. See, talking's hard. So we were out in your neck of the woods talking about the pharmacy museum and all of the different. There were some butt plugs involved. It was strange.
Yes. You got to the butt plugs and it all fell apart.
Yeah,
I feel like I need more information.
You should tell. We had pictures when we went to the pharmacy museum. So yeah. I think Andy was in the chat earlier saying, "Hey guys."
It was just, and they were just butt plugs at the pharmacy museum.
Yes.
There were stories behind it, though.
I
Yeah,
feel like
there were.
I feel like I've been to like 1,000 pharmacies in my life, and not once was I like, yeah, let me go ahead and get like some antibiotics, and some cotton balls and some butt plugs.
They were. I think they were called anal dilators.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the name, dilators.
Anal
Gotcha, gotcha.
dilators.
And see, right now, this is me making up for that Spirited Science because I'm talking about that topic. Because we got derailed, and that was a hilarious show, though, Mel.
Really?
That show was.
We were at the Creole Gardens, and they had a wedding going on in the background, and I was worried about getting copyright strikes because they were playing music. They were cutting into the bandwidth. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, YouTube and Idris Elba are ridiculous. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, right, because that's the Mel episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mel was on that episode.
Yeah.
He was worried about being Idris Elba before we got Idris Elba.
Yeah.
We didn't even know getting IE'd was a thing until it happened, and then it happened, and we just so just for context, we had Scientist Mel on an episode last month with Billy the Fridge from the Drunken Peasants, and the episode we decided to rank and
put it on me.
We watched and ranked a bunch of female superhero movies. And we did like 7 movies and put them in order from best to worst. Monty and I are working on creating the greatest comic book movie list of all time, the definitive list that compiles every comic book movie ever made, theatrical release, straight to DVD releases, the big budget ones, the small budget ones, you name it, like Red Sonja, Queen of the Damned, or Queen of Plagues.
That was horrible. That was a horrible film.
It was, absolutely. And we did this episode. It was a great episode. Mel almost cried talking about the awesomeness of Wonder Woman.
Oh,
it was such a good episode that no one can watch because Monty played 6 seconds of it, or 9 seconds of an Idris Elba song, and they pulled the episode off of YouTube. So that happened.
People are wondering what tonight's topic is. Well,
yeah, I just saw that. I just responded.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm not used to things not being a shit show. We rarely get to our topic.
Monty.
That's
language,
okay.
Monty. Language, Monty.
Sorry.
Heck and heck, Monty. Heck and heck.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Your show.
It's okay. Thank you, Andy. Time for a trip back to NOLA. $25 super chat. Thank you so much, Andy.
Anytime.
We are talking about Valerie Thomas. So she's not one of the people from Hidden Figures that you would see in that film that came out about NASA, but she is one of many different women of color who contributed to the work at NASA. And so, Hannibal, I know you've been studying really hard. This isn't a pop quiz situation. Just tell me what you love about it. Tell me what you like and what you learned.
Oh man, here we go. Okay, so as I was reading about Valerie Thomas's story, it's very similar to a lot of stories that I've heard about people of color in the 50s and 60s that want to get into certain industries. And one of the aspects was, well, first I want to, because there's 2 aspects I want to talk about. I'd like to, talk about, her race as it played into her getting a job, but I'd also like to talk about, her gender and how it played a role in her becoming a scientist. Like she said, when she was young, when she was like 6 or 7 years old, she saw her father fixing a television, and when she saw him inside the television moving all the parts and breaking it down and stuff, she got real interested in it. So she got a book, and the book was called, hold on, let me find it. The book was called The Boy's First Book on Electronics, that she got from the library, and because she wanted to show her dad, like, look, I'm interested in this and I'm doing the research and stuff. And her father instead would not help her with the projects in the book, despite his own interest in electronics, because he felt like most men felt in the early 50s that it wasn't a woman's place or a girl's place to be doing, mechanical engineering in any capacity. You know, it's like, no, this is a man's work. You're a woman, and you're supposed to be doing other things. You know, and even though time has progressed and gotten better, you know, there is still a disconnect in the amount of men versus women in the field of science. You know, and Mel, I know this is something that you can talk about at length. Being a woman of science, and it's like, and even though like the progress is getting better, you know, there's still disconnects there in terms of, you know, as a man, me talking about this is probably ridiculous. You know, you could talk, you could talk a lot better about what it's like being a female and a woman in science versus the way and the way you get treated versus the way men in science get treated.
True. I read up a bit on that as well. And she actually went to an all-girls school, and they discouraged her from getting involved in science and math. She was able to take one physics class, and that's it. They let her take one physics class.
She was one of 2 women in that physics class.
That was at university.
Oh, that was at university. All right.
Yeah,
so I'm later. All right.
Yes. So
skip ahead in the story. We're not there yet.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
So she ended up getting into university, and she was one of 2 women in the physics department, and that was it. And so so I got chemistry, and I got biology, and I got all this stuff. I can relate a bit to the family aspect of things, and I can also relate to the school aspect of things. I had an English teacher tell me I was too stupid to be a scientist or a doctor. I was thinking about being a nurse, and she's like, "You're just too dumb." But this woman was regularly verbally abusive to me, even to me in front of my mother. And so you can have teachers that discourage people from getting involved in something. And if you hear it enough, sometimes you start to think that that's the case.
Yeah, you start to believe that, especially if you come from a place where you haven't seen anybody like that's doing what you want to do,
right?
Accomplish that goal, and then it's like, then you have people tell you you'll never be able to do this, and then it's like, oh well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
Right. This is why
I want to chime
representation
in because I
matters.
saw
Go ahead.
Kristen Frost laser beams said something that was funny with the woman make me a sandwich comment. Like, let's move forward to a point where, you know, that drunk dude screaming, "Woman, program a circuit board for me."
Oh, man.
Yeah. Let's get there at least.
Yeah.
And then we can get a little better after that. Because
debug my iPhone. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. You know, it's funny.
That shit, like, I'm too stupid to figure out.
Yes.
So, but prior to the stream, Monty and I were having a conversation about a certain individual who actually said that I should be in the kitchen making him a sandwich. And I'm like, I'm a chemist. I'm an amazing cook, but I only cook for people I care about. So, like, I can cook, but I only cook for people I care about. So,
Yes.
Make your own freaking sandwich, man. If you don't know how to do that, then...
Look, and I'm going to say for the record, I would never tell Tish to go make me a sandwich because it won't be as good as the sandwich I'm going to make. Tish is awesome at other shit.
Monty, language.
Things.
Language.
Stuff and things.
Yeah. Stuff. Things.
Yeah.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Those words back to my vocabulary. I've removed those words from my vocabulary. I have to put them back for this.
So and as far as like being a little girl growing up who was interested in science, a lot of my family members didn't understand. I'm like, I want a chemistry set, I want a microscope, give me this electrical circuit board here. They give me, like, you know, the Christmas catalog. I don't know if you guys got that when you were little, you know, and they're like, circle stuff that you like, and then you might get one thing out of there because we were broke. So I'm like, okay, I want the electrical circuit board. Oh, look, a rock tumbler. I can just take rocks and make them shiny. Let me get that. Oh, and a chemistry set. Let me do that. And they're like, here's astronaut Barbie. And I'm like, I still don't know how to play with dolls. To this day, I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? You want here's some Barbies and here's some dresses. I'm like, You want me to put clothes on them? Just change their clothes a lot?
That's
What?
not fun.
What am I supposed to do with this?
I mean,
You know,
look,
it's just
there's some people that like that. You know,
Right,
it was
right.
just I didn't live in that same space. I needed the action toys. I needed the action toys or the brain toys.
But Hannibal, don't you think it would have been awesome if you had a Wolverine that also came with the Wolverine outfit and the X-Men outfit, and you could change him to X-Men Wolverine,
Oh
and
my
then you could be
goodness.
Wolverine on the X-Men now?
No, but I will meet you in the middle.
Maybe just me.
Give me a Wolverine doll, an action figure. I apologize, action figure. All right, and if you give him one of those temperature changing uniforms, where it's like, say it'll be like the traditional brown and yellow Wolverine,
And then
but when
it
he
heats
gets
up,
cold,
or it
it
gets cold.
becomes the brown turns blue, and then he
Okay.
becomes the X-Men Wolverine.
All right.
Okay.
So you just don't want to change clothes on an action figure?
I just don't want to. I was never like a big action figure guy. You know, that wasn't my cup of tea.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And yes, Andy, I will give you a shrimp and grits recipe. Although it won't be the recipe is mostly put this in until it's enough. And Hannibal, why don't you describe how seasoning works? Like you said, the perfect thing.
I said
I don't want to
I
step on your feet and steal your shit.
No, you get the language, Monty. Language.
I'm catching myself.
I tell people all the time. Monty and I are both from New Orleans, Louisiana. Monty is currently in New Orleans. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. This is where I reside right now. And being a Saints fan in Falcon Country is not awesome. However,
Who dat?
right, it is insane. But I was telling, like, every person I've ever met, I was always like, man, you're such a great cook. They said, how do you learn to cook so good? And I said, I'm from New Orleans. Everybody from New Orleans is a certified chef. It's like when we're seasoning our food, the spirit of our ancestors will just come down and say, that's enough, child. And that's it.
They just whisper. They whisper.
And it's time to stop. So I was by Monty's house this weekend because I was in New Orleans last week, this earlier this week. And his girlfriend was making some food, and she was using the recipe. Like, she was looking at a recipe, and I was like, "Oh, is this your first time making it?" She's like, "No, I make this all the time." And I was like, "What do you use the recipe for?" She's like, "I don't want to mess it up. I always go by the recipe." I was like, we don't use the recipe. We just, like I said, I just wait for the spirit of my grandmother to come down. I was like, that's too much lemon pepper. And that's it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's almost like a feeling, isn't it? It's kind of like a feeling. You just put a little bit here, and you're like, no, oh Lord, I put too much. I'm gonna have to add some more of this to counter all the stuff that I put in extra, and it's just not gonna be right.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever put so much seasoning on something that you just had to throw it out? You was like, I messed it up.
I'm just like, yeah, I can't eat
No.
this. I've done that. I have done that, but that's when I was still learning. I'm like,
okay.
you gotta eyeball stuff too. It's gotta be the right color, and that can change. And if it no, I gotta add some more base to this because it's too dark. You're like, okay, it's gonna get burnt. Oh gosh, and I tried to. Okay, so I've been working on. Okay, and this is completely unrelated. I've been working on eggs Benedict. I'm like trying to get it like down, and
I make a badass eggs Benedict.
Man,
Monty, language.
Oh, badass is okay.
No,
it's on TV.
Language.
Hollandaise, that hollandaise sauce, if you don't get it just right, it'll get chunky on you. And I got in for the first time, this was like the fourth time I was making hollandaise sauce. It got chunky on me, and I was so mad. I'm like, I'm gonna fix this. And I was just like mixing it. I'm like, I'm gonna make this work, man. I'm just gonna get it right. And I was like, no, it's not. It's just chunky. I was so angry. I was so angry about my chunky holidays. I was like, I just can't do this. I can't do this. It ruined my entire rest of the day. My hollandaise is off.
Yes. Look, watch what I do here. I like to impress Hannibal with my skill with this. So do you think Valerie Thomas was able to make a good hollandaise?
I like that. Great. Fantastic segue.
Back on topic. Good. Go there.
I like that.
Good job, Monty.
I like it. I like
Jack,
it.
give me some poop emojis for that good segue.
hand claps. You know, they don't have.
No, I want poop emojis.
This is Mel's show. We got to do something that's Mel. Find a beeper. You know what I'm saying?
I want it to be our thing when we show up on people's show. There's a flood of poop emojis because Hannibal and Monty are there.
Poop emojis. That's fair.
And they feel like they almost feel like they have to apologize. Like, I don't know why my chat's being so mean to you.
You need a whole section just called the suppositories.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Writing
the suppositories.
I'm writing it down. The suppositories. Yes. I don't even know what we're going to use it for, but guess what?
Oh, it's written down. It's going to happen. Look, there we go. I see the poop.
Yes. Oh my goodness! I'm making another Valerie Thomas because I've already gone through the first one.
There we go.
I'm just a splash of hot damn though. You don't need too much hot damn.
I'm about to go grab Valerie Thomas because I think Tish is still hanging out with her niece.
Just a splash.
So Hannibal is you and Mel. Till I get you.
That's all right. I like Hannibal.
Valerie Thomas because I'm about to drink some of it.
Okay,
right.
So
you can't take off the top layer of an Oreo cookie, Monty.
I even use the diet cranberry, guys, because I'm trying to limit my carbs, but that really shouldn't matter with the amount of, alcohol I just put in here. But vodka technically doesn't have carbs, but maybe the rum does, and then the schnapps, the schnapps is 50% alcohol. It's 100 proof. Just a splash, man.
Yeah, it's just dude, the Coopers can you can get pretty messed up on
oh gosh. Okay. This is still has nothing to do with Valerie Thomas, but you guys have to watch the show Letterkenny. It's like
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny is a Canadian comedy show. You can find it on Hulu. Letterkenny is the name of the town, and it's spelled exactly how it sounds. And it's kind of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, except Canadian version and redneck style.
I don't even know what a redneck Canadian would be.
You will find out when you watch the show.
I am intrigued.
Letterkenny.
I need ScientistMel to watch Russian Doll on Netflix.
I've seen it.
Okay, so we need to do a whole episode, maybe we do it on our show, maybe we do it on yours, but we just break down the science and the physics of that show.
That'll be great. I'll be happy to do that.
That would be a good. Shout out to my girlfriend Shayla for putting me on it. She was like, "You need to watch this show," and I was like, "All right." And I watched it.
We need to. All right.
There we go. I'm in my lab coat now. Let's talk some science.
Let me see the lab coat. Let me see. Stand up.
You need to get a little patch. You need get a patch set for like your R&D department.
Nice.
For your show. Yeah, that's nice.
I actually bought this lab coat for some other ridiculous stuff that I was doing.
Science is not ridiculous, Mel. Monty, just so you know.
No, I just wanted to look like I should be listened to when I said something that wasn't true.
I got you. Okay.
You mean like a woo pusher?
Yeah. Like. Am I allowed to mention the cabbage woman here?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. Like if the Jilly Juice woman wore a lab coat, more people would listen.
Here's an interesting thing about that. I actually wrote an article on my website on ScientistMel.com, Science, Communication, Language, and Perception.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of studies about why it is that people fall for this type of pseudoscience. And one of the things is they use language that's sciencey. They even misuse the words, but if they present themselves with a type of authority, people tend to listen to them. People who have low IQs tend to believe a lot of these profound statements like you would hear from Deepak Chopra and stuff. And so there's and if you have an accent, it changes your perception of things as well. So if you have like an accent that's different than your audience, that gives you a little bit more credibility. And so you can just throw words out there that sound really sciencey. It's like, we have the quantum entanglement of our souls that perpetuates us and moves us through the universe to where we interact for just a short time.
But what you're doing here is you seem to masticate the proclamation.
Mhm.
Only enough just to allow some digestion within the mental faculties of the individuals, as much as they can partake within this particular knowledge.
But still, like once you've penetrated the fellatio orifice, then you've got no more conjugation to contend with.
In the loss of conjugation is a real issue that we completely need to address, but that's not what this stream is about.
I was trying to find a way to work in dilithium crystals, but you guys are doing so well. I'm just going to go ahead and watch Venus and Serena go back and forth. This is good stuff. And then Venus and Serena going back and forth over the net.
You know what? I'm clipping this section out. I'm making my own trailer for this episode, and I'm going to take that 30 seconds and just put it on our channel and link it back to here to hear the rest.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, as an aside, so I've known Monty, I think now for it was like 10 years or 11 years or something like that. Or yeah. Gosh,
Yes.
something
Oh,
like
it's been Facebook said 9 years, but that's when we became friends on Facebook.
Yeah, so it's been forever. So
Yeah. And I always say the marker is, if you want to know how long me and Mel have been friends, go back to find out when Kevin Smith was too fat to fly.
Yeah, that's the anniversary.
That was the day I met Mel. Because I met her because I replied to her comment on that, and then we kept talking.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember when Kevin Smith talked about that when they tried to make him buy multiple seats on the plane because he was too big.
It was Southwest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So
Melody said something. I don't even remember what she said, but I replied, and then there's probably Twitter history of us going back and forth on Twitter, and then we just started direct messaging.
Yeah, and then we hung out, and it was great. We were friends since then.
Yeah.
I've been on your podcast when you did audio podcasts. You've been on mine when I did this. It's like this is old hat to us after a while.
She was, and look, Hannibal probably didn't even remember because we had random guests on that show, but you were on the little show, so you have interacted
You
with
did
Hannibal.
phone him at one point in time when I was at y'all's office. You had your own office, and you had him on the line. I can't remember what we were talking about.
Oh, I don't even remember.
It was one of the superhero films.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, well then I was there you go.
You were there. You were there. You were his producer. He's like, Hannibal's my producer. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's what we. Yeah. That's about right. That's where we were at that point.
So I knew about you. We just didn't, and we talked a bit over the phone, I guess. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was me and the mongoose.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was before we were Hannibal and Monty's 5H1T show. It was Monty and the Mongoose's little show on Blog Talk Radio.
Oh,
for years. We did that show for years.
We are old.
We are old.
I tell people all the time, I don't get old every year. I just level up. So.
Oh my gosh. That almost sounds like Matthew McConaughey in, what was that? Like,
I know what you're
Dazed
talking
and
about.
Confused. I like teenage girls. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yeah.
What is this? This is so
such
creepy.
a creepy line.
Yeah.
It's such a creepy line. His whole character was nothing but one-liners. Okay, so maybe we should talk about Valerie Thomas because this is like an hour.
I'm sorry, Mel. Every time I'm on one of your shows, this happens.
It's okay. It's and it's entertaining. We all did our homework. Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk.
And I did enjoy Valerie Thomas. So
all right.
Wait, the drink or the scientist?
actually, both. This drink is pretty good.
What do you think about it? Tell me. What do you like about the drink?
I like it. We couldn't find all of the ingredients. Tish sort of tweaked it with some vanilla extract, I think.
That's okay.
Something was missing, but this is pretty tasty. So,
It can be dangerous, I guess.
Yeah. I prefer whiskey, but this is good.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
It's really good. Nana's older than both of us, but I don't know which us Nana's talking about, but that doesn't matter. But no, the drink's good, and Valerie herself is somebody I admire her dedication. And I was talking earlier about her. She's the type of person, it seems like she reacts, or maybe I react the way she does because she's older. So where it's the minute somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm about to be awesome at that thing.
Yeah.
So I like somebody says, Monty, you can't do that. Stop it. Like, oh really? Watch me do it. And I'm so bullheaded at that point that I will do it, even if it is to my detriment, even if, you know, in the end, it's not worth it for me to do it. Watch me do it. Tell me I can't.
Yeah,
and that's what this question is.
Yeah, Monty has that chip on his shoulder where it's like if you tell him he can't do something, and not can't like shouldn't, but like can't like you aren't able to do this. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Monty's like, now he's got that. He's gonna get it stuck in his craw. It's like, oh, you gonna tell me what I can't do? And I think it's and going back to Valerie Thomas. I think oftentimes when people haven't seen something done, they'll be like, it cannot be done. Like not like, well, I've never known anybody to come from, you know, because she's from Baltimore, right? Yeah. You know, which is, you know, historically been like a low income city. Especially for African Americans. So, you know, there weren't a lot of black physicists in the 60s coming from that part of the United States. So it would have been very easy for people to look at her and tell her like, yeah, you'll never be able to do this because they haven't seen people succeed that look like her and do what she's trying to do. And she was able to overcome the odds, you know, graduate, go to Morgan State University, and then be one of two physics students. Right. So one of two female physics students.
Yep. Wow. And that I didn't know this when I picked her either. And I saw this. Oh my God. And for lack of a better phrase, I'm going to steal something from a comment somebody put on our channel talking about Hannibal. Somebody thinks you're there, what I'm about to say. I think this woman might be my fucking spirit animal.
Language, Monty. Language.
Oh, my darn spirit animal.
My freaking.
There you go.
That's what goes there.
Yeah.
Freaking. She's pretty amazing. So I thought I would get into a little bit of what. Apparently, Andy did something, and everybody's saying, dang, but I missed it. I don't know.
Super chat. He sent you $100 super chat.
That didn't even pop up on here.
Yes.
I didn't see. Restream. Okay, what did he say? Because I didn't see it.
He said nothing.
He said nothing. $100 super chat.
Good on you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andy, for that. And I have to also give Andy a shout out. He's building me a new computer for my...
nice.
Because he works in engineering, and he has a lot of computer parts laying around, and he used to have a server that he's not using now, so he's repurposing that for me to have like a solid tower so I can do more like short films, because I'm trying to branch out into using my action figures to do different stuff. And I have kind of like that, but with like explaining science, and I have a green screen, so that's like a whole separate project I'm trying to get into. So $100 freaking Andy.
Yes.
And sending me a computer. Thank you so much,
Andy, for the win.
Yeah.
All right.
That means all your super chats that came in, for y'all that don't know all this YouTube crap, that means you get to get all that stuff on your next payout. So keep those super chats coming, people.
Yes.
That's quite helpful. Science, yay. So thank you, Andy. And it didn't pop up on my restream. Normally all the super chats do on the restream chat, but that one didn't pop up because I guess you just blew up my freaking restream, and it's like, we cannot handle this much awesome, and it just was like, it's just not there.
But those are great problems to have. You're like, hey, we had to shut your bank account down because you were making too much money.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Those are great problems to have.
That's amazing. Okay. So thank you, Andy. So yes, and Andy's currently building me a computer with just a computer. He has stuff laying around because it's part of his job. So I feel really fortunate to have such really good, strong supporters in what I do. And so they do help me keep the lights on because I do pay for a lot of the stuff that I do. So
Yeah, look, and I can say from experience, a show like this is not cheap to put on.
Yes, it is not cheap. Like I know everybody that watches these shows on podcast on YouTube, whether you're watching our show, ScientistMel show, Drunken Presence, Tab, Geek Room, Greatest Sapien, etc., any shows that you guys are watching, these shows cost us to put on. So if so these little donations here, there, $1 here, $2 there, Super Chat, Patreon, Streamlabs, all that stuff adds up.
Yeah, it adds up and pays the bills.
Yeah, it helps pay the bills. You know what I'm saying?
Really, really does. I mean, it's like I have Restream, and then I have Zoom, and then I have an app that makes all my trailers, and then I make little 1-minute videos. I have an entire series that I use just an app on my phone, but it costs me $100 a year to use it. And then I also do literacy ad campaigns on Twitter. It's $100 a month for that. So sometimes I fork over that cash just to try to get my stuff out instead of somebody, hey, Kraft macaroni and cheese, like, here's a really funny science joke, go check this out on my, so I pay for advertising, not so much as like just to boost literacy ad campaigns. And then I have a website where I post all of my sources. Teachers use my stuff. Teachers legit ask me to make videos for their classrooms. And so
that's awesome. That is fantastic.
I have teachers that use a lot of the stuff that I've made in their classrooms to help explain content. So that's just what I do. And it does cost me money. My camera, my lights, my other cameras, so I can like branch out and do more stuff and then travel. And then I give talks locally in other places. So that all costs money. So yes. So it's really helpful because I am in the hole almost every single month. But it's helpful.
Like any quality educator in the United States, you do not make enough money for all the work that you do.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you, Kirsten.
If we can make money for doing a poop show.
Yes.
There you go.
My goodness.
And nobody's learning nothing from us.
I try to do that at the beginning, man. I just give you all a video. Monty's really bad about reminding me about what I need to make a video about.
Yeah. I have a system, and I'm gonna structure that because I think I figured out how to work that out. So
actually, next week we're doing our torture episode about Insane Clown Posse. So
I really want a Mel video about how magnets work.
How magnets work.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that and possibly talking about the history of clowns and how they actually were based in terrifying children. So clowns are meant to be scary. So there you go.
Look, what if we do it this way? And look, I'm going to pitch on the show, and then we'll get back to Valerie Thomas.
Go for it.
I'm going to pitch you right here on the show. What if, I hope Hannibal's okay with this because he might have to drive and work. If you do, it's okay. What if we go live on your stream to talk about clowns before our show?
Okay.
But our intro video is you talking about how magnets work.
That's cool.
I like it.
We can pop in here and talk with Mel about clowns.
And
not
how
ICP,
messed
but
up
just
they
about
are.
clowns.
Yeah.
I hate clowns. I hate clowns so much.
For just for context, because I don't want ScientistMel's chat being like, what is going on, right? So every month on Hannibal and Monty's 5H1T show, live on YouTube, Twitter.
And thank you, Kirsten, for the super chat. It's not $100, but not everyone is cool as Andy. That's all right. You're pretty cool, Kirsten.
Yeah,
I want to say Kirsten, but Kristen. There's Kristen
Frost Laser Beams.
Frost Laser Beams.
That's an awesome name.
It really is.
But like every month on our show, we do what we call we do a monthly torture episode where Monty and I will torture ourselves for the entertainment of our fans. In December, Monty and I watched all 5 Michael Bay Transformers movies in a weekend.
Oh my god!
In January, we listened to all 9 Nickelback studio albums. In February, in conjunction with Black History Month, Monty and I watched all 23 Tyler Perry movies.
I remember that.
It was awful. And this month, the reason we're talking about clowns is Monty and I our fans decided that they wanted us to listen to all 15, and that is not a misquote, 15 Insane Clown Posse albums. So that is why we want Mel to do a chat with us about clowns and talk about how magnets work, because one of the lyrics from one of their songs
is
a very popular
freaking magnets.
Song.
How do they work?
Yeah.
How do magnets work? I can do that.
Yeah. It's a weird thing to have to explain to people how magnets work.
That's okay. That's okay.
Whenever I talk to Uber Christians, I just tell them it's God or Jesus and walk away. I don't got the time.
Or if you get to like the really good geekdom, you say it's the Force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I actually made Hannibal. I had Hannibal in a speechless moment, bringing him to the Greyhound station, leaving here because something happened and we were able to get him back just in time. And I go, "Oh, all right, we're gonna do this." And I go, "Hannibal, that ain't nothing but God."
Oh my goodness. As an aside, something that I would really like to see at some point in time with the two of you is a reenactment of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But your version.
I would do it.
See, you can make that happen.
Yeah, I was gonna do like the Odd Couple, but yeah, that works too.
Which one of us is saying this is backcountry?
We can't stop here. This is backcountry.
Yeah. Which one of us says that? I'm asking you. Like, I'm curious.
I feel like it would be better if I'm the straight man and you're the crazy one.
All right.
No, but they're both like that a bit.
Because they expect me to be the crazy one.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is awesome about that film is that one is crazy and one is straight, and then they flip. They're never like they always are. So it's weird, but that would be so funny to see y'all's version of it.
We can make that happen. All right,
that would be amazing,
especially if we do it like extra low budget.
Yeah, super low budget. So, do you think Valerie Thomas had a friend that she would have filmed crazy shit like this?
Yes.
Now we've come full circle.
Great
segue. All right.
Great.
Here.
Segue.
Okay.
Back to Valerie Thomas.
So there's a website. If you're not familiar, NASA has a whole section just on Valerie Thomas. I thought I would talk a little bit about that. So, her work at NASA. She was the associate chief of the Space Science Data Operations Office. So she retired from NASA at the end of August in 1995. And I'm pulling this straight from their website. So I'm giving credit to NASA for this stuff. Valerie began working at NASA GSFC in 1964. So before her retirement, she managed the NASA Automated Systems Incident Response Capability. It's called NASIRC. Mm-hmm. All right. And she chaired the SSDOO Education Committee. So during the time she was there, she worked on lots of different projects that kind of challenged her. She was able to develop what they used as real-time computer data systems, and they supported satellite operation control centers from 1964 to 1970. Now, after that, around 1970-1981, she managed the development of Landsat image processing data systems for 3 different satellites. She was considered an internationally known expert and the contact for the Landsat data products. Now, in 1974, she headed a team of approximately 50 people for the Large Area Crop Inventory Experiment. It's called LACY.
I see you, sis. I see what you're doing.
She's awesome. Yeah. It was a joint effort with NASA's Johnson Space Center and NOAA. That's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And she also worked with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Now, this one particular experiment, they basically were able to demonstrate the feasibility of using space technology to automate the process of predicting wheat yield on a worldwide basis. So they could look at crops and determine how much wheat was going to be, like, they were able to get on just from satellite data. So she developed all of this tech to basically take a satellite, look at somebody's land and go, yeah, you ain't going to get so much wheat this year. I'm sorry. So, I mean, That's essentially what this was doing. So they could accurately predict what the wheat yield was going to be in different farming communities. That was just from 1970 to 1981.
Wow.
So she did more in 11 years than I've done in 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Matter
me
of fact,
too.
yeah, I'm gonna say 20 years. But I got a good feeling that this is the year I cure cancer. I've done no research or peer review studies, but my gut tells me this is when I do it.
Yeah. Look, wait, what are you talking about? G-Man's already cured cancer. B17, right?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who he is to get that reference.
You'll know he'll win.
You'll know if he wins. We've already worked out something.
Yeah. I've talked about some awesome stuff to do with Mel if G-Man wins the torture episode next month.
He has a hate thing for me, and it's
Mel
funny.
will be on our show if G-Man wins. So G-Man, if you see this, Scientist Mel will be on the 5H1T show. Just know that. If we're talking about you.
I don't know who this person is. I don't know who G-Man is.
Oh, goodness.
He's going to see this video. Somebody will tell him.
Somebody will tell him. Drag will tell him.
Yeah. Drag, get this message over to G-Man.
He sounds like a Mid-South wrestler.
He's not that accomplished.
He sounds like a drug dealer from the 80s.
That not even that accomplished.
Need some crack rock? Go talk to G-Man. Like, all right,
might be using that. I'm not certain. He might have extra lying around after he's finished.
And I'm sorry I forgot to do this earlier, but I just did it just now. The 5H1T heads might pop in a bit.
Yeah, I've been messaging, trying to get more of our constituents, our fans in the show. But Mel, you were talking about Valerie Thomas's accomplishments between 1970 and 1981.
Yes.
What did she do after that?
She did all kinds of stuff after that. So after she worked with Lacey, that was like, a fancy name for their large area crop inventory experiment. Mm-hmm. So they were able to determine how much, wheat yield. Try saying that 5 times as fast as you can and let me know how it goes. So wheat yield, that just doesn't feel right to say.
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue, the tongue well.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, so from 75 to 76, working at NASA headquarters, she was the assistant program manager for Landsat Nimbus before returning to GSFC. And so she was then the operations manager for early access system nicknamed Scrounge for Landsat. So she worked primarily with the satellite type of technology. And they used something called thematic mapper sensor. She was also the technical officer for a $42 million multi-year technical support contract. And she was the deputy project manager for the pilot land data system during early requirements definition phase. This woman had a lot of cred. In 85, she was the NSSDC computer facility manager responsible for major consolidation and reconfiguration of 2 previously independent computer facilities. She was just in charge of so much stuff. She then served as the Space Physics Analysis Network project manager from 86 to 1990. And when SPAN underwent, and it was called SPAN, S-P-A-N, underwent a major reconfiguration and grew from a scientific network with about 100 computer nodes to one directly connecting about 2,700 computer nodes worldwide. So she was in charge of all of this.
See, I didn't get that far in my research. That is super interesting. Wow.
So in 90...
I did, Monty. I just think you just didn't research it as much as you could have.
Listen, on team Monty, we don't belittle people. Or,
I wasn't belittling. So is it belittling if I just say things that are facts and true?
but you don't know that that's factual.
I just know what you just said just now. You just said that you didn't get to that point of the research, which means that you did not do enough research to get to that point. I got to that point.
What if I just got hung up on trying to figure out who her best friend was? And we got a Team Monty in the chat, so there we go. Let's roll with that.
Team Monty. Oh my
That's
goodness.
okay. That's okay. I'm gonna sway whomever Ann Van is because I have insider information on things that Monty says when nobody's around. If anybody wants that information.
Yeah,
Oh,
listen. Stop trying to sell Ann Van mangoes.
Oh my goodness. What you need to do,
it's super inside joke. I like it.
Hannibal, just take an image of Monty and turn him into a meme. Monty says, and then this. Just do that. Why don't you do that?
Oh, look! This can go many, many different ways. Y'all have seen all the intros on our show. I made all those. Wait do you see what I can do with slanderous political campaigns?
Oh my goodness. I should send you some of the ones that have been going on about me. Those are fun.
Yes. Look! I'll prove what I can do. Mel, send me videos. Link me to one of your trolls' channels. I will make a slanderous video ad about said person.
Fantastic.
Whoever it is. Just send me one. Okay. Message me on Twitter.
I will do. All right. So back to Valerie Thomas. Okay. So one really cool thing that she does. After she dealt with all of that, and she ended up retiring in 1995, because of her life and what she had to overcome and her unique career, and she had a dedication and a commitment to giving something back to the community. She has spent, even now, a lot of her time over the years speaking to groups of students from elementary school all the way through college and university age to adult groups. She is considered to be like an exceptional role model for potential young black engineers and scientists. She made literally hundreds of visits to schools and national meetings over the years.
Awesome.
She served as a mentor for countless numbers of students working at GSFC during the summer, and she also served as a science fair judge, working with organizations such as the National Technical Association and Women in Science and Engineering. Now, the latter programs encourage minority and female students to pursue science and technology careers. She has received numerous NASA awards, including the GSFC Award of Merit and the highest award given by the GSFC and the NASA Equal Opportunity Medal. And apparently, NASA still misses her terribly. They really wish she was still part of their organization. So that comes straight from the NASA website. They speak so highly of her and the work that she does, not only for their organization, but also for the community.
Yeah, and I was one of the things that I loved is that her career, like the early parts of her life, are littered with people telling her what she couldn't do.
Yep.
Like her father was like, you can't do this because it's not a girl's job.
Right.
And she goes to school, and then when she's in high school. And she's trying to get more interested, and she's trying to get more involved in science and math. They were like, no, this isn't what a woman is supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to do this. And then she goes to college, and she's one of two female physics students, in her college. And then and then she gets hired by NASA. And at the time, NASA was like requiring all of these, like all the women that worked for NASA that were like super highly qualified, that were like the top students in their schools, ended up having to go to NASA to be data analysts because that was the job that was available to them at that time. And as NASA got more progressive, and more open-minded with things, she was able to move up the ladder and be like, yo, I am excellent at my job. I can do many, many things. It was like her life was you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're a woman, you're black, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then she met that adversity and was like, hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? And empowered through. And that's what's amazing about Valerie Thomas. And there are lots of examples of other scientists, other people that have had those same issues that were able to rise above. But because we're talking about Valerie Thomas, you know, it's fantastic reading her story and seeing that she was able to accomplish, that she has accomplished so much. She's still, you know, still alive and kicking right now. You know, hopefully she's not still in. Yeah,
I don't think she's passed away. They just miss her at the organization.
Yeah, she has not passed away yet, and she's still kicking around. She was. I would like to sit and talk to her like I used to talk to my grandmother, because she would give me advice like my grandmother used to, where it's like, just get up and do it, because that seems like the type of person she is. That's what I got from her. Like, and I'll give you an example. Like, there's this moment I was living on my own, talking to my grandmother. I'm like, and it was something I didn't need, but something I wanted. I was like, I'm talking about this thing. I'm like, oh, I want to go get this freaking action figure. I'm like, it's $15. I can't afford it. And she's like, yeah, but you want it, don't you? Go get it. You're only going around once. Figure everything else out.
That's kind of how I feel. But, you know, I'm also open about my anxiety. So anxiety is like, we'll make you pay for it later. Sometimes it'll be like, that $15 you could use to put gas in your car, but instead you bought an action figure. I'm like, yeah, but I get to look at it forever. Gas, you just burn right through. It's kind of like, I don't know, my mother's kind of interesting because we grew up pretty broke. You know, I was a single parent home, very small house. We ate fish sticks and macaroni and cheese. That's just what we did. You know, and so she worked in the travel industry. And so at the time, this was before they had all these travel websites. But it's like she would be able to get like free airline tickets and stuff. She'd work her butt off so she could get us like a decent vacation every year. But it was exclusively just from being comped from all the work she did. So she would sit there and she'd be like, okay, so we would never eat at fancy restaurants. She's like, you're just going to poop it out. So, you're just going to poop it out. You know,
that's the kind of shit you need to hear. Like,
Monty, language.
Oh, the kind of 5H1T you need to hear.
Better.
Oh my goodness. Just going to poop it out.
And we got a 5H1T head in the chat. Welcome, Thrift Store Dan.
Thrift Store Dan, welcome to my channel. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Yes, sub to Mel. She's got great content, and you know, you'll learn something here. Unlike our show, where you know you'll learn some stuff.
Yeah,
but you're not going to learn.
It's like when people learn stuff from our show, they learning more about proxy, not by you know, it's not on purpose.
No, we say some 5H1T, you know.
Well, you know, you guys, you kind of hit like different societal issues too, which is just entirely important.
This is true.
My goodness,
that we definitely do. Now,
I think Valerie Thomas is affecting me right now.
I'm glad you said that, because I was about to be like, for everybody who just joined the chat that might be missing out, can you tell them once again, ScientistMel, what are the ingredients of Valerie Thomas?
Valerie Thomas. So what I do,
and the process of actually making the Valerie Thomas.
You know, I've got a little bit left, and this is number 2.
ScientistMel is about to have a great night.
Yes.
We you know, just play a little Rick Astley, and then all the white people will start dancing.
There we go. Yes. I used to love getting rickrolled. I thought that was the best. That was the best thing on YouTube for a while.
I still rickroll people on my Twitter account. I did it today. I said, guys, the Mueller report has been released. And it was like a picture, and it said, U.S. Department of Justice. There's so much stuff that was redacted. And then the words were, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, yes. I still Rickroll people. I find ways to do it even without the YouTube video.
Yeah, we might Rickroll our fans. Like, let's see how they react to that. Maybe one of these shows I clip out, you know.
You never know.
Have a Rickroll.
So the Valerie Thomas. So this, when we do spirited science, I always make a cocktail.
What I was gonna do was say, do you think Valerie Thomas ever Rickrolled someone?
You know, I really hope she did. I hope she has Rickrolled somebody at least once because it's quite fun to do.
Yes,
and
but continue.
As an aside, there was somebody, you can find this on the air. There's somebody who did their thesis, their PhD thesis. You can go through on a few pages. The first letter of each line says, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. They Rickrolled their professors. It's amazing. They did their PhD thesis on purpose to Rickroll all of their professors, like on their committee. I was so happy, but that made my year when I saw
That's amazing.
I think I was in grad school. I'm like, yes. So the Valerie Thomas, the inspiration comes from where she lived in that particular. Was she in Delaware? I think she grew up in Delaware.
Oh shit! Oh, 5H1T.
Monty, language.
I only said shit.
you were getting to it. Unless you were gonna say Chicago mushrooms.
Yeah, that's what I say. I say, Chicago mushrooms.
Yes.
Shiitake.
So the Valerie Thomas cocktail is vodka. It's apple flavored, and I used Amsterdam. Worked out okay.
Okay.
We've got vanilla rum. This is Cruzan or Cruzan or whatever. I don't know how to say that word.
It's Cruzan.
Cruzan. Okay, so it's not. Is that French?
Yeah. And wait, since we're talking about pronunciation, what was it we were talking about earlier? With a CH. Charlotte. So can both of you, and you, I'll let you get back to this, Mel. I'm sorry.
Sure, no
I just
problem.
Kanye'd you.
I'm gonna let you finish, Monty.
Yeah. I'm sorry I Kanye'd you, Mel. But Charlotte, is that how you pronounce Charlotte? Like, can you all look, Tish? Why don't you hand her the headphones? Spell it for me. Spell it like spell the word. CHARLOT. Is it 2 T's?
2 T's and an E. Yeah.
Pronounce that word.
I thought it was Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yes.
Charlotte.
See, there you go. All right.
What?
Sorry.
Why would we pronounce it Charlotte?
Tish's niece is in town and she's being very wrong. She says it's Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Charlotte?
You know what? Why don't we just call it Charlotte? You know, Charlotte.
See, how about that? Will you meet us there?
Charlotte.
See, so she says Charlotte.
It's wrong.
It's not.
She says it's wrong.
So here's the thing. As someone who graduated with an English degree, it should be Charlotte. But
I told her that. But continue.
But you know, the way English works is it doesn't. So,
that's what Tish said.
Yeah.
English is like you know, English is like 3 other languages that went out to go get drinks one night, and then it was just like they're all drunk driving home, and English is like the result of the car crash. It's like it sort of works, but not really. And then we basically have all these rules for like how it's like there's like 47 rules to how English works, and then when you get to the very last rule, the last rule is all the other rules can be thrown out at your discretion.
Yeah, so there's like 3 for these few words that just pop up. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's just like it's like English is like, whenever I think about people learning English from, like, I know people that speak 5, 6, 7 languages, and English is like their 3rd or 4th language. And it's always the toughest for them to learn because the rules of English don't make any sense.
English gaslights the rest of the world. They constantly move the goalposts. Mm-hmm. It's just like
our language. So look, I Kanye'd you to do this. Our language is the Kanye of languages.
Yeah, it kind of,
Sorry.
It's just, it's like.
What does that mean, though?
I before E except after C, but that doesn't work.
I'm going to let you finish. but I'm gonna say this wrong shit right now, or wrong 5H1P right now.
Language, man. Yes, but you're right. But you're right, and I get it. I totally understand.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So back to you explaining the Valerie Thomas. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna explain something.
She would just say Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, she would say Charlotte's Web. Yes.
Why say the W with web? Why not say Veb? You know, because it's two V's. It's
two
a
V's.
Double V. You know,
Yes,
W.
You give plunger points to ScientistMel for the. She's
Charlotte's
right.
Veb.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
It is two V's.
See, the difference between science and fooling around is just writing it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. It's
you
there.
wrote it down. That means it's real.
Yes. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I Kanye'd you.
That's all right. Kanye, you know, I guess he needs, I don't know, he needs some hugs or something and some
drinks
medication.
are involved. Like, your audience expects this.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. At least for this show, for this Spirited Science.
Yes. Mention us in the comments. Spirited Science.
And like and share and subscribe. And their channel is in the subscription. Gosh, in the description. Subscribe. Give them a subscription from the description where their link is.
Nice. Good save, ScientistMel.
You know,
it was like a 5H1T head in the description.
Yeah.
Come check out our show. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully, Monty soon will be able to, if Idris Elba willing, we'll be able to upload the ScientistMel episode where we ranked a bunch of female superhero films. We did 7 films.
I bet if Monty shaved his head, that would appease the Idris Elba gods, and then that wouldn't even be a problem.
Oh, I'm never shaving my head.
That episode would just be gone. And it's such a good episode. Like me, Monty, ScientistMel, and Billy the Frizz from the Drunken Peasants. It was a great episode that no one saw because Idris Elba, decided to be a hater, be a real poopy head.
Or he decided to be very boasty because that was the song that got flagged.
Well, I think it's just YouTube. Like last night, I had to talk about depression, and YouTube has decided that it's not appropriate for most of.
Don't shush, Charles. But continue.
Wait. Why is that? Why is that not okay?
I don't know. They've decided that they are not. They might have limited or no ads on there for monetization. So they decided that my depression talk that I had with a neuroscientist is not appropriate for most of their advertisers.
But isn't it the science of depression?
We talk. It's my This Week in BS. We talk about depression myths and how a lot of the myths that are out there just kind of perpetuate the stigma and don't necessarily help and what the actual reality is. So.
I think what's going on with that, because I've seen a bunch of creators get their stuff flagged down when it's on the opposite end of the garbage that they're trying to get rid of. I don't think they've programmed their algorithm properly, which is Hannibal and I were having this discussion earlier, but I didn't get to this point, which is the reason our episode titles are so random.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
I had a manual review and they still said it wasn't appropriate.
Really?
Really?
I've had manual. Anytime I've talked about.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Anytime I've talked about human sexuality or depression, those particular episodes, even if I'm just talking about the science, I had a neuroscientist on last night. And
wow.
And they were like, this is still not appropriate for most of our advertisers. I'm like, okay. We literally talked about the new FDA medication for a derivative of ketamine. I mean, we got into heavy freaking science. So it's like, we didn't say, go kill yourselves, everyone. I mean, it wasn't like something that was controversial, and even with a manual review, but it's weird. Wow. It seems to be that with
crazy. I didn't realize the algorithm was that. I don't want to say sensitive, but
well, I mean, but even specific. A manual review is somebody watching it and going, "Yeah, this is still not appropriate." So I'm like, okay, whatever, man.
I wonder what their standards are, though. Because I think it was Godless Cranium posted. Was it him that posted I think it was Neanderthals, but they were nude, and it was deemed inappropriate for advertisers. And then after a manual review, and then he posted another one where he photoshopped bikinis on the Neanderthals. And they said this was okay after a manual review. And I shared it on Twitter. Go check out our Twitter page, and then you can find out who it is. And then follow him, because he's hilarious.
Yes,
Vice Rhino. It was Vice Rhino.
Vice Rhino is funny.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, and I replied to him after I shared it. I was like, Vice Rhino, you win YouTube today. I'm not doing anything. You got it. This is yours.
That is.
Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
So they didn't have a problem. So it's like, they don't mind Neanderthals and loincloths, but Neanderthals, and mind you, it's totally educational. See, this is the whole Superman baby penis all over again.
Oh, that is.
Oh my goodness, that was like the Christopher Reeves film, yeah.
And
Oh my God.
I have that conversation recorded. I need to talk to Ben Collinsworth to see if I can post it.
Yeah, and for the record, for context, we were not talking about Superman having a baby penis. We were having the conversation in the 1978 Superman movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene where it shows a baby Clark Kent.
Yeah, a toddler.
Toddler Clark Kent.
He's like 3 years old or something.
Yeah, and he's lifting the car with it, and his penis is out. And the question we were having was that scene necessary? Was it appropriate? And just all kinds. So that was the context. I did. Context is everything. Because then people hear, we say, "Oh, the Superman baby penis," and it's like, "Whoa, wait, what?
My goodness!
What did this show just become?" So, I'm gonna make sure context is key. All right.
Context is key. Nobody's into.
No, how's the drink?
Well, I've completely finished the second one. Well, we're talking about Superman as a baby penis.
Part of Hannibal and Monty's 5H1T show. See what I did? See what I did?
Yeah.
To NANA, yes, yeah. I was the same thing. I forgot about it, and then just was watching Superman, and then saw that scene, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot this was in this," and I forgot. And there would be times when they would show it on TV, and it wouldn't be, they wouldn't crop it out on TV.
Yeah, they didn't care. It's a baby penis. If you're going to sexualize a child, then oh my God.
Yeah, those people have the problem.
Yeah, and that was actually the argument, the discussion. I'm going to say argument. Well, it was an argument.
It was an argument. I argue with Ben Collinsworth all the time. I love him, but I argue with him.
But we were arguing about whether or not that was appropriate or inappropriate, And
what about...
And look, it's like this situation. I'm going to ask ScientistMel and Hannibal the same question.
Okay. I'm going to make another Valerie Thomas.
All right. Wait. Before you do, answer this before I ask Hannibal. So, you walk into a building. You got to meet somebody. It's a tall building in a busy city. You got to meet somebody on the 10th floor. You walk in, and elevator comes down. Like you press the elevator to get to the 10th floor. Elevator comes down. Door opens. There's just a little white girl standing there. Going the same direction you are.
Yeah.
Do you get into the elevator?
Oh gosh, are we talking like? Does she look like she's from The Shining?
No, she's just normal.
Mel, I had the same exact question.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Ask your clarifying questions now. Do you get into the elevator, Mel?
Well, if it's just a little white girl,
yeah, she's just chilling. Nothing creepy.
Nothing creepy. She's not holding a doll that's missing a head or anything.
No, she's 10.
Okay.
She's 10.
She's about
by
10.
herself. Nobody else in the elevator but her.
Okay, if it's just me, I imagine this child would not be threatened by my presence.
Yeah.
So I would feel comfortable getting in.
So you would get in.
Yeah.
All right. While Mel gets her drink, Hannibal, what would you do in this situation? Would you get in?
You haven't said anything to me to make me feel like I shouldn't get in that elevator right now.
Oh, see,
Is she holding an
and this is the
Uzi?
thing, because I thought your answer would be different. I would not get in. Like,
Okay. So I was thinking. So I'm leaning towards not getting in that elevator. You know what I'm saying? But because I'm a 6'3", 245-pound black man that
That's exactly
consciously
why.
walks around wearing a mask, so I don't want to have to explain that situation.
Yeah, like,
It's
what if
you
it
know,
opens on the next floor and it's you and this little girl that's just totally normal, just chilling, and you're with your mask? Like, I don't know. That's not believable.
See, NA asked, is she the elevator operator?
No, and I was asking because of what we were talking about, like that, because I thought about
Perception is a thing that exists.
Yeah, because I saw a skit that made me think about it, but that's interesting.
That was the skit.
Perception. Okay, so I've known people who have been like single dads walking around with kids or walking around in an area that's a playground and their kids are playing on the playground. They're like, ooh, you're a single dude here hanging out around kids. You must be a pedo. You know, to be fair, and if you watch Letterkenny, they'll say, to be fair, to be fair, I actually, it is an aside, I used to be a substitute teacher for like the local Catholic school's diocese. And we had to take what was called Virtus training, which was the response to the sexual, the sexual assaults and things that were going on with the kids. And so it was run by a detective. And so I took this class from a homicide and sexual crimes detective. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if you see a dude that's at a game, like a football game with a bunch of kids, soccer game, whatever, at a playground, at a McDonald's, in the playground area, reading a paper, He taught us how to isolate different individuals that could possibly be pedophiles and how to profile them. That was like the majority of that particular training, and how to make a hostile environment for those individuals to where they would just leave. Where they would just leave, not really having to address them, but be passive aggressive enough to where you generated this hostile environment to where they would just opt to leave rather than having to address them directly. And that was the entire bit of training, which was
all they would need is just one Hannibal in that place and be like, and then be like, hey, Hannibal, go, we don't know who that guy is. And I walk up to him and say, hey, man, which kid you here for? which kid is yours?
Would you wear the mask? Because I think that's important.
So I never not wear the mask. Like and Monty has seen firsthand. Like I have eating mask. I mean, I have a sleeping mask, a shower mask, a feeding mask, and Monty has seen firsthand. Like when Tish picked me up in New Orleans to bring me to Monty's house, I had the mask on while she picked me up.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I've been in situations with him where I'm like, you don't need the mask on. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm keeping it on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah, this is a lifestyle at this point. I'm 11 years in now. Yeah. So it's just old.
And I trust his judgment, and it's usually right. Like,
yeah.
Like, all right, you didn't need the mask. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the last time I was wrong was, Monty and I were trying to figure out what movie was better, Captain America, Winter Soldier, or Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think I came up with an entire metric system just for you guys for that.
Yes, you did. It
was RARs and laws
to measure the hotness of the Chris's. I remember very
hot
well.
Or funny.
Yeah. Laws are RARs.
Yeah. And I, I was wrong then. You know what I'm saying? And in the time I was wrong before that was like I thought Crush Groove was going to be bigger than E.T. So it was like a nice 30-year gap between me being wrong. So I'll be wrong again in my 70s or 80s. So we got time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But you know why I'm not wrong so often? It's because I always peer review my research before I present my findings. So there you go.
Do you peer review this research with the people in your own mind, or is it actual peer review?
Are you stealing my content?
Definitely actual people. No, I don't. I mean,
oh no, that's totally credited to you, Mel. That was your idea. That was a callback to your joke.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That was Mel's joke. That wasn't mine.
Yeah. I can understand why people would see the mask and be like, "Oh yeah, split personalities." No, I'm definitely not. It's not that. Like, there's one voice in my head. It's mine. Is awesome. It's pretty great. It's a very robust baritone. I like it. So it's like it's no other voices. At least the other voices say there are no other voices. So I believe
yes.
them.
Yes.
Yeah. Do they worship the other voice as the main voice? That's the question. This is the one and true voice of Hannibal. All other voices are not as important.
Yes,
that's right.
Put no other voice before mine. There you go. That's where you're going. Also, not my joke. Hannibal was going there. I just took it and said it.
Yeah, you did. You saw where I was going with it, and you beat me to the punch. I like that.
I don't take other people's jokes.
Yeah.
I saw it and I just put it out there for you because I was like, it would sound good if it still happened in this moment.
But I would just go up to the guy and be like, again, 6'3", 245 pounds. I'm wearing a mask. I'm like, yeah, man, which kid is yours? Which kid are you here for? And he literally has seconds to answer that question. If he doesn't answer that question, I'm going to use an expletive and ask him to leave.
Yeah,
And when I'm not asking, I'm notifying him.
Yeah.
That he has a time limit to leave.
But are you notifying him by saying you need to get the foghorn out of here, or you need to get the Fortnite out of here, or
you need to get the foghorn out of here? I'm going to leghorn. My way.
Yeah, you need to get the foghorn out of here. I'm going to leghorn some shit right now.
Monty.
Yeah.
It's like you use foghorn, leghorn, but then still said the name of our show.
I said. Boy,
I didn't know his name was Foghorn Leghorn for years.
My goodness!
He was just a big chicken. You know what I'm saying? That's how he was.
I said, boy.
Wait, Monty, I think that falls under "Thou shalt not steal." I don't know what he's referring to, but Chris Crane.
Oh, that's Karis. Karis is a lady.
I'm sorry.
So that's all right.
I'm sorry, Karis.
As Monty's girlfriend's niece would say, Charis Crane.
Yeah, Charis.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna mute and say her name, and then I'll be
okay.
I just called you out on the stream, but I'm muted, so they didn't hear your name.
See, I didn't want to dox you on the show. So
yeah, I didn't want to dox you.
We got way off of Mel explaining to everybody the process of making.
I made another one while y'all were talking.
Once again, you fruited up my segue, because I was going to say, I wonder if Valerie Thomas has nieces that think things are pronounced wrong.
I fruited up.
I
Valerie Thomas is Thomas. So is it Valerie Thomas or Valerie Thomas?
Oh, it might be Valerie Thomas. Is it Thomas or Thomas? Hang on, let's see.
You should see, now you got to do that to her all week, and everything that has that possibility.
Thomas.
Yeah. Is it April or Apple? Yes.
Did she say that's not a word? She said that's not a word. She's saying Valerie Thomas's name is not a word. But
okay, well, it's a name, so I suppose that's whatever.
But is it Thomas or Thomas? Thomas.
Charis Crane.
She feels like it should be Thomas. Yeah, but she's an important figure in history. Yeah, she's done awesome things.
Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah. What about Thomas Jefferson? He's got a stupid name. He did own a bunch of slaves. She can call his name stupid.
Oh my goodness.
Is it George Washington or George Washington?
Hannibal wants to know if it's George Washington or George Washington.
See, I was an English major. I could do this all day. This is gonna be fun.
Why wasn't Hannibal here when she was here?
I know. I
Oh my
left right when
goodness.
she got there. So, Scientist Mel.
Yeah, let's get on topic. I'm sorry,
Valerie
you're our guest.
Thomas.
I'm calling you out. I'm trying to figure out where our lines are and where our jokes are.
Right. Like, yeah. Tell the people how to make a Valerie Thomas.
Yes. How do we make a Valerie Thomas?
Oh my goodness. The A is silent. It's an English rule. I'm sorry. The S is optional.
Well, she's speaking from other languages, like our language is like we do what the fuck we want with it.
Hey, Monty, language.
Oh, we do what the fig we want
Poop,
with it.
spackled,
F
fart,
words.
muffet.
F words.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
said muffet and
We're
thinking
going to
muffaletta
recut
because
this
I need
episode,
food.
And we're going to keep a Monty curse counter on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
so
we
can
should
see how
really
many
have a
times.
curse
Yeah.
counter.
I'll send that to you, Mel, after I do it. I will.
Yes.
I'll actually do that for you.
Also, there's some new viewers that joined the chat. I saw Yasmina Lucas and
Awesome.
Brian Stevens joined the
Oh,
chat. So how
look.
you guys doing?
Well, there you
Hey,
go. That's
hi.
who you can talk to.
Yeah, we
All
could
right.
be Joey from Friends. How you doing?
Oh, no message. Wait, there she is. Weird name. Just call him Thomas. All right, that's who I was just talking to.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, like a normal person.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, we can ask her things like this in the chat.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And what's up, Brian Stevens? Good to see you.
Yes, Brian is a regular on my channel. So it's-
I've seen him in other chats. I think we've
Yeah,
interacted.
yeah, Brian's pretty fun.
I'm fairly certain we have.
You know,
And
Nana's
as you guys-
awesome.
As you guys interact, make sure that
Paris
you
is great.
aggressively and consensually hit the like button and donate to Mel's Super Chat, Streamlabs, and
Yeah.
join her Patreon.
And you know what
Mel-
else you need to do for Mel? Share this show.
Share the show.
This is
Absolutely.
great. You know, I
Yeah,
always
get on your social media and share it so that they can see how awesome times are on Scientist Mel's show.
Yeah, because like she is giving you scientific gold every episode, right? She gives you like the best of the best, the cream of the crop. She is, you know, as taken from her website, she is a scientist, she is a science educator, and she is a science. I'm waiting for it to get science communicator. I was waiting for it to
And
refresh.
Scientist Mel, and look, I'm going to finish this ad. Scientist Mel will communicate science to anyone except G-Man because he's not worthy of talking to her.
Yeah.
He likes to talk about my hair when I'm discussing evolution. It's quite
Yes,
strange.
yes.
So I
Drag,
don't
drag,
do
clip
that.
this,
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Hey. So, okay.
I don't
So,
trust men who don't like redheads. So there you go. Say that.
Yeah, G-Man does like redheads.
I also don't
He's-
trust men with a mustache and no beard. That's just I got some weird hangups about this.
then
Dude,
you
this
would
whole-
probably love the show A Million Ways to Die in the West, the Seth MacFarlane film. It's
I think
it's
I've seen. Yeah,
Mustache
Is it with
Song, you know.
Wasn't Charlize Theron in that movie?
She is, and they have an entire sequence called the Mustache Song, where they're talking about how, you know, mustaches are so in, and then there's an entire shop just on how to maintain certain types of mustaches, and certain ones are more expensive than others because of all the products you need. So
Listen, they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all
Yeah.
because like mustache maintenance is a very you guys can't see it, but I got like a Burt Reynolds popping off under here.
yeah. See, I don't have that issue. So it's really, I do hear like for the rest of my whole head, but I don't have it on the face. So maybe that's different. I
Yeah,
don't know. That might be different. I literally wash my hair, throw product in, and hope for the best. That's what I do.
I just realized something because, and this is off topic. We'll get back on topic after. And look, I'll segue us off topic or back to topic after this.
Okay.
But I've always had this idea. I'm like, and I almost told Hannibal this on the phone because he always keeps his face covered. And I'm like, I was going to say, if anybody wanted to, they could Photoshop your face based on different masks you wear. But then I got dragged back into a conversation I had with a writer I used to work with
Mhm.
while drawing stuff. And he kept telling me it was wrong. And I was like, what? what the fondue is wrong with this? He's like, it's in the nose. And he told me, and I remember this is almost exactly what he said. The nose is pretty much the linchpin to the face. Hannibal's nose is never seen in any of these masks.
Right.
So I've actually had people do this before, where they try to like take different pictures of me with different masks on that expose my face, and then try to composite the face. It does not work well at all.
No.
Oh my gosh. I have a challenge for you guys.
What's the challenge?
Okay. Get a green mask and get a green screen behind you and tell the internet to go to town.
Oh.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Yes.
Challenge accepted.
Yes.
You might get some very interesting responses.
Yeah, it wouldn't work because
I expect to get some interesting. Yes.
Words are hard.
Is what I was trying to say. Yes.
Yeah. But I just thought about that. I'm like, yeah, there are no shots of your nose because there's no mask that goes like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I actually do have a luchador mask. Like if we were going to do the WrestleMania show on Drunken Peasants, I was going to wear my luchador mask.
So your nose would have been visible.
Yeah, my nose would have been.
That would have been their one shot to actually composite your face.
Oh my
goodness. That would have been it. But even then, and then you still need certain angle shots in order for it to work. You know? Yeah.
So and that being said, like your nose, like you got the typical like African American nose, but yours has an interesting difference to it that works on you. It's not bad. What do you think Valerie Thomas's nose is like?
Well, if you watched the trailer earlier that I posted,
I got to. Good job. I don't know. I don't know how much of the Valerie Thomas you've been drinking tonight, but let me just say, that was brilliant. Just give Monty credit. That was a flawless segue. All right, it wasn't forced.
I'm the Segway king. I'm the Segway Filipino king.
You are.
I'm not Filipino. I just keep trying to find words with the f in the beginning.
PH, it's Pahilipino. Is that is it Pahilipino?
Yeah. How is that pronounced, Yasmina, since you're in the chat?
Pahilipino, is that it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pahilipines.
Yeah.
The Pahilipines.
I don't know if you realize it, but you started a thing. Your entire visit. I'm gonna challenge you on words.
Yes.
Words are so hard. Words are very unnecessary.
Yeah. It's the same person. And
hey, don't call out the person, Hannibal. Let's talk about Valerie Thomas. Because we want to talk about specific people.
This fondue, this mother fondeur right here.
Extra cheese. Extra cheese. That's
nice.
Is that not what fondue is?
Look, watch this. I'm going to get us back on topic quick. Mel, are you more Team Hannibal or Team Monty?
Oh gosh, why are you gonna split me in two?
I'm trying to show Hannibal how I can get us more on topic.
Okay.
So,
we're doing a King Solomon right here, man. Just cut the baby in half.
Are you more Team Hannibal than Team Monty?
Oh no, no.
No, you know what, Mel? Placate his ego and be Team Monty. I already know what our connection is, and I'm not worried about it. You know what? I'm mature enough for our relationship to survive this.
You are strong enough in your personal Hannibalisms.
That's right.
You know how
confident you have to be to wear a mask everywhere. Okay, airports are insane. All right,
yeah.
And you just you live your truth. All right, I just don't wear it to banks and gas stations. That's what I learned.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to wear a sports bra instead of a regular one all the time? Because you're just like, not today. I'm not going to have extra perk.
I actually don't know how hard that is.
You should. I can help you shop for one, Monty, if you need.
All right. Wait, what are you saying? You calling me fat? Do I have tits? Do I?
Wait, is that a word that we're allowed to I think that's their word. That's not
Just
our word. We can't use that word.
All right, I respect that. Is that your word?
I think it's a generalized word because there are birds that are called tits.
All right, so
Yes.
I can say that.
And there are blue-footed boobies.
But they're very small birds, though.
Yeah, they are very small.
All right. But when talking about the, I forgot the scientific term.
The breasticles.
Yes.
That's highly.
Can I
that's the
use
most
that word?
Sure, use breasticles if you like.
All right, breasticles. All right, so tits are off. All right.
Language, Monty. Language.
Sorry.
Oh, this bird's called boobies too. See,
there's the blue-footed booby. You know, as an aside, there is a web page. Actually, there's a page on Facebook called "I Fucking Love Science."
Oh, I love that page. I'm subscribed to that page.
The person who runs that is a woman, and so when people found out that she was a woman, people were asking, "Let's see your boobies," and so she made a T-shirt that said, you know, here, show us your boobs, and it was blue-footed boobies, which is an actual bird. So there's pictures of these birds on the T-shirt. Blue-footed boobies, they're not particularly exciting, but they have really bright blue feet, which are quite interesting.
How come this stuff doesn't pop up in my feed anymore? Because I like this page, and I don't get stuff in it anymore. Hold on. I'm gonna unlike it and re-like it. So
somebody's saying tits are the bomb and pointless without nopples.
Yes. What's a nopple? Is a nopple a thing that is a scientific term? I don't know.
I believe a nopple is Oh no! Wait, now I'm about to say.
There's the Doppler effect. Is there the Doppler effect?
The Doppler effect.
The Doppler effect, you know, where you have the Doppler effect, where, you know, that's how we monitor planes, and there's a little bit of the Doppler effect when we're looking at weather. Yes. So maybe there's the Doppler effect. I have a weatherman friend. Maybe I'll ask him, what do you think the Doppler effect would be? That will probably be my next DM, and that might be awkward. If you could categorize what the Doppler effect is, what do you think it would be?
the Doppler effect.
Oh goodness! Don't those birds have the webs of their feet, but off from the hot rocks? I think so. Okay, so maybe we should look to the chat and see what's going on. Get Monty a push-up. You need a push-up, Monty.
What the fuck? Why are y'all fucking with me?
Hey, language, Monty, language.
I'm sorry. Why are y'all fighting with me?
Okay, better.
Just say ninja.
Yes. It's got to start with an F.
Okay, Finja.
Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm losing the weight. I'm down some pounds.
He is. He like the whole time I was in New Orleans, Monty was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go walk to the store and get some stuff." And I'm like, "Why are you walking? You can just take your car." Because he walks and he's got a route. He plays Pokemon Go. He is very particular about his range of, and he's always walking around the house. Like he's always moving around and stuff.
Do you have a Fitbit, Monty? I think we need to get you.
I don't because, and look, I'm going to say this on ScientistMel's channel. The reason I don't have a Fitbit and don't see myself getting one is because I'm very much a hypochondriac.
Okay.
And I don't want to know. That's part of it. I know it's better if I do know. But
so it does more than just track your steps. Like it also tells you about like your blood pressure and stuff.
It'll check your pulse and all that shit. I don't want
language, Monty. Language.
What did I say? Did I say something?
You said the name of our show.
Oh, see,
it's okay.
I actually feel like I'm crushing it right now. Like I'm just like, man,
you are.
I expected to be cursing left and right. Y'all don't understand. I used to be the general manager of a chain of porn stores. All right, so I am like
You are. You're doing better
right
than me.
now. Okay,
I thought I was being good, but it tracks. It tracks, and I don't want to know, but I do want to know.
Okay, so let me just tell you, I have a Fitbit. I have a Fitbit Ionic. Yeah. Okay, and so it's gotten a bit weird and quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it can track your sleep, but it feels weird having it on while I'm sleeping. I don't like that. I don't like things touching me while I'm sleeping. I'm strange like that. But it will track your heart rate, which is quite nice, especially if you're trying to figure out how many calories you burned and that sort of thing. That's really cool. But now it's like, so it wants to like track my periods. Like,
oh,
I'm like, okay.
It's getting personal.
It's like, and what does it asks me questions like, what does it look like? Is it this color or is it this color?
Damn.
It's getting extremely personal, and it's wrong. Every single month, it's wrong. Has it happened yet? And it'll ask me questions like, has it? I'm like, why are you so? And I really want to ask,
look,
why
you
are
say
you
that,
so worried about my period?
Wait, hang on, Tish. Me too. But I was about to say, I'm going to mention something that Google sent me today, that they told me they're sending me a free something that you don't like. It's coming in the mail. You know what it is from Google. They just sent me a free one. So,
but
is it a mango?
No, it's not a mango, Hannibal. Okay. Why are you still hitting on my girlfriend, Hannibal?
It's like it thinks it's like for real. It thinks my period ends in 2 days and it hasn't started. It's just like, I'm like, what the heck are you doing? I'm like, what is this? It's just
that's amazing. I had no idea. I'm to see now. I want to get one so I can keep tabs on when my period starts.
You should tell him you're a lady.
I am late as hell right now. I'm nervous, to be honest.
You might be carrying an alien baby. It's just going to bust right out to you in the middle of dinner.
I'm 147 months late, Mel. I don't know what to do.
Just go find Ripley, and then Ripley's going to sit there, and then you'll be in the middle of dinner, and something will bust right out of you, and he'll sing, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal."
That's Michigan.
I like the dual aliens and Spaceball references all in the same bit. I like
and it was Michigan J. Frog all in the same bit. Don't forget that.
And you're right, Michigan J. That's right. That shout out to Michigan J. Frog. He doesn't get enough credit for driving people crazy.
Oh goodness.
That was the originator of making a sane person look crazy.
Yeah,
which is one of my favorite bits of cartoon.
See, whenever I watched Michigan J. Frog, I was under the impression that, like, I always watched those cartoons from the point of view that the person was crazy.
Yeah.
And that Michigan J. Frog was like their subconscious. Uh-huh. And then it was like when the person was around other people, it was like, oh, it's like the imaginary friend that's only there when you're there. You know what I'm saying? Or like you're alone. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what Michigan J. Frog was.
See, I always watched it from this frog keeps doing stuff, but nobody else can see it. This frog is fucking up. This frog is
language, Monty. Language
is figging with me.
Mm-hmm. I see. The only way we can really quantify it is if another person would see the frog. So, like, if in that same bit, in that same sketch, if a second person sees the frog, then it's happening, you know, or at the very least they're having a shared traumatic experience. Either or.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they need Jesus, Hannibal.
Yeah.
But do they need white Jesus?
Yeah. Listen, that's the only Jesus I pray to. Right?
Look, if we're going to talk to Jesus, I want it to be Black Jesus.
Do you?
Yeah, if it's got to be Jesus.
Uh-huh.
if we gotta pray to a Jesus, I want it to be Black Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't have to pray to Jesus, I don't care. It can be whatever Jesus you want.
Is he still got like the shredded 6-pack? You know what I'm saying? Or is it like?
No, Jesus is awesome. He's got dreads.
Okay.
Jesus is standing there, and he turns wine into fucking
Language monster.
turns into Jesus turns wine into
Water into wine.
Yeah, no. I'm very specific about wine. Jesus turns wine into Crown Royal.
No. Jesus turns wine into Cavassier.
Yeah, that too. I'll take that. I'll take Cavassier.
So when they say when Busta Rhymes was saying pass the Cavassier, he was really saying pass that Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah,
is that the blood of Christ? Is the Cavassier?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I always wondered that, like with all my Christian friends, I was like, is the blood of Christ supposed to be like, is that Merlot? Is that Cabernet? Is that a Malbec? Is it a red blend?
I really think it'd be a really nice white Zinfandel because it's a nice blush. You know,
a Chianti maybe.
A Chianti would be nice, but then we're getting to Hannibal Lecter territory.
Yes.
Yeah, which is right. It's like it's right where I live at. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a good place. I never, you know, it'd be pretty cool. You know, you go to somebody's house and then, you know, you take one loaf of bread. Now they just got a bunch of bread. Could he multiply other foods, or was it just bread?
Yeah,
and then
you go get a
fish.
10-piece
He did
Popeyes.
that with fish. He did it with fish too. So it was like Captain D's. He was like the Captain D's of the
fish and biscuits.
Yeah,
but
like, Here's a question. Could you go to Popeyes and invite Jesus over to your party and say, I only got a 10-piece, but I got all these people coming? Could Jesus turn that 10-piece into a 50-piece?
Yeah, a follow-up question. If I only get a 2-piece, if I get, like, say, a 2-piece white spicy with fries from Popeyes, and they give me a breast and a wing, can he only make other breasts and wings, or can he do all the other parts of the chicken? And follow-up question, can I get it in spicy and mild, or does it only come in spicy because I ordered spicy?
Why is it Popeyes and not KFC?
Don't with that, Mel. We just talked about that.
I don't even acknowledge it. So look, like if I'm hungry and the punch and there's nothing around,
or churches, or is there no churches
not
people in the house?
Absolutely,
not churches.
Absolutely not.
Churches. Not churches. I haven't had any of those in years, so I cannot comment.
I only accept Popeyes or Cane's. Hannibal probably doesn't accept Cane's. I accept Cane's.
So look, listen.
None of it's Chick-fil-A because we don't do that.
This is true.
We don't do Chick-fil-A here.
We don't do Chick-fil-A at all?
I don't, because of their contributions to anti-LGBTQ.
See, that's a whole different discussion. Is it their contributions? Because if you show me that it's Chick-fil-A's contributions, I'm done with them. But if it's the people that own the company, if it's their personal contributions,
I think it's the organization. And I used to work for
flaxseed oil them, but I'll still eat Chick-fil-A. But if it's Chick-fil-A's contributions, I'm done with them.
Yeah, I think it's Chick-fil-A. You know, I'm not at a place where I can.
That's the information I need.
I will find that information for you, Monty.
Yeah, because my stance is, because this is America, and there's the freedom to do whatever you want with whatever you get. If it is the people that own the company, they can do whatever they want with their money. But
I worked for Chick-fil-A for 2 years.
But if the company money is doing something,
I did.
then the company's supporting it. And I'm not going to support the company doing that. That's where I draw the line.
All you really need to do is take some chicken breasts and soak it in pickle juice for like overnight. Coat it with some powder and fry it, and you'll get the same freaking flavor.
I think we got our ScientistMel, Hannibal and Monty follow-up episode right there.
Yeah, I know. Like ScientistMel and Hannibal and Monty talk about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
we might need to do a Chick-fil-A episode.
we might need to just do. And look, I'm not trying to perpetuate the stereotype about black people, but we might need to do a fried chicken episode.
Monty, I sent you that video of how to
should.
eat fried chicken and watermelon that somebody is.
I did see that.
Oh,
Yes.
I think he is a comedian and he was trying to make light of the stereotypes associated with that. So, but I was like, what the heck is this? So I sent it to you.
Oh, Sharice Crane said, "You guys, you can Google recipes that are Chick-fil-A copies and enjoy it without supporting a crap company."
And this is when your grandma will come and talk to you, Hannibal, and tell you like this is the right amount of seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And look, Ann Van gets in the chat and says, "I'll make you a Chick-fil-A salad, Monty. Be done with them." You have every time I've said I want to go get a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, she will say, "I'll just make you one," and she'll make me chicken salad, and it's the chicken salad recipe from Chick-fil-A. But I'm of the position of it's the person that owns it, not the company.
Yeah.
I definitely need more information about that because and I even though I don't actively eat meat anymore, when I do allow myself to eat meat,
Unless it's my fucking shawarma, which was the fucking bomb.
Language.
Oh,
language.
It was the flagpole bomb. First F word that pops into my head.
The flagpole right up the center.
Yeah. It's like, but it was like, look, no. Shout out to Monty. He made. There were 2 dishes he made while I was there. He made breakfast tacos, and he made shawarma. And I'd never had shawarma before. And I was like, so first what you're gonna do is take this pita bread and put some hummus on it, and then you're gonna say, okay, what was the other stuff you put in it?
Hummus, tabbouleh.
Okay, let me stop right there.
Did you add tzatziki?
Let me start. So let me go ahead and do this right now.
Oh my gosh, man.
Black people don't be trying we're not real adventurous with our palates. So pita bread, boulie, hummus. I'm like, whoa, you throwing a lot of stuff at me right now. Damn it again.
Language.
Throwing a lot of stuff at me. I'm like, man, look, I don't know. All right. But look, I wanted to try shawarma because if the Avengers ate it at the end of the Avengers, I was like, well, if it's good enough for them, and they had literally just saved, downtown Cleveland, New York. So of course I want to try it too. So I was like, all right, I want to try some shawarma.
Was it lamb shawarma or was it like beef shawarma?
Chicken.
It was chicken
shawarma.
Okay.
And
cooked in an air fryer.
Yeah, it was pita bread and hummus and what did you say, boulie?
Tabbouleh.
No,
it's not like what did you call it? Sambuca.
Tabbouleh is like diced tomatoes, onions, and there's some other seasonings.
It looked like
a Greek origin.
All right, it looked like quinoa and tomato.
Tabbouleh.
And he's like, and then spread this brown paste on this weird burrito roll. I'm like, all right, man, I don't know. I was like, man, keep some barbecue sauce on the side just in case.
He did say that.
Yeah, and then I had it, and it was delicious. And I was like, oh, this is shawarma. I love it. This is fantastic.
But keep in mind that was New Orleans native cooking shawarma. Using the same technique that you talk about, because I stop when the ancestors say that's enough, child.
Yes, right. That's how you know it's So
and I found out what spices went in, and I just shake them in until it's time to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I cooked it. That's where the flavor came from.
I don't even own anything to measure spices in my house. I
don't know what to do with that. And look, Ann Van will ask me all the time, how long does this need to cook? How much of this do I put in? I'm like,
until it's done.
No. You just do it until there's enough. How long does it stay in the oven? Till it's done.
So, from a science perspective, so in grad school, I worked on a breast cancer test. And I had lots of jokes. And so you guys can probably appreciate this. So when I was making this breast cancer test, essentially I had to 3D print a particular piece. I went with black because apparently that doesn't have like a signature on all of our instruments. Then I would have to go to the Home Depot and get caulk, black caulk.
I've never heard it pronounced caulk.
No. I like where this is going. Keep going. Keep going, ScientistMel.
So I had to mix it with what's called mineral spirits to get it malleable to where I could like put it around to where we'd have a watertight seal. So it's just one of those things. I would sit there and I worked with so many different types of I guess percentages or mixes to where it was perfect. Mm-hmm. But I had to use the axle rods from toy cars. So it's like my whole bench looked like a Tim Burton workshop because I had this black dripping goo everywhere. And so I was just like, so I was trying to make it because we had to have a watertight seal so you could put individual samples across to where they wouldn't mix with one another. And so I'm saying like, well, I got black caulk all over my bench. So people be like, what? Like it's, but it was literally just tubes of black silicone caulk that would be like squirting into a bottle or like a beaker and then mix it with mineral spirits. But after a while, it just got to where I was just like eyeballing it. I was like, well, 60% here and 70% here and, 65% here. And it just, it got to where it was just like, this seemed to work for a while. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it's just one of those things. And you're like, so like the person who replaced me in that lab was like, how did you do all this? I'm like, you just freaking know, man.
Yeah, you just know. After you do it for a while, you just know. I can't explain to you how I know how much seasoning I know how much to put in. I just know. And it's the same thing when I'm doing music and when Monty's doing art. It's just I can't explain the how. I just know when it's right or when it's not right.
Yeah. And look, I want to ask this question.
Yeah.
So Hannibal's good with music. I can send this dude anything. I can send him a audio clip of a guy I saw screaming at a buggy pusher at the grocery store going, that's not my cart. He could turn it into an awesome beat.
Oh yes. My gosh.
That will get stuck in your head.
I need to send you my stuff, Hannibal. I'm like, I can sing and stuff sometimes.
Yeah. So
send it to me. We can put some great production around it and send it back.
But with that, I'm also like, I can do the same thing with art. Like, you can send me a picture of anything and I can figure out how to Photoshop it, draw it, whatever. I can figure out what it needs to look awesome. That's what I'm good at. My question is, what do y'all think, aside from what she's already good at, which is creating fucking illusion lenses, or I forgot it. What do you think Valerie Thomas was good at?
See, I didn't even hit you with the language because I knew what you were going for, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just watching you do it every time. Like I'm literally like the kid playing t-ball. I'm just watching you just set it up."
This is
she
my
really
job
liked concave lenses
on the Shame Show.
She liked concave lenses, Monty. She was all about those
concave, not convex.
No,
concave is in, convex is out. Right.
So I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
So she was all about those concave lenses, and she's like, I'm so fascinated by this. I need to make things to make it even more amazing for the rest of the world to completely celebrate everything that I do.
Yes.
And
yes.
Oh,
do you think? Goodness. What do you think she was like in the kitchen, though? Do you think?
Would she make you a sandwich?
No. I don't want her to make me a sandwich. I just want to know if she cooks like her people cook.
I don't know.
If she gets in the kitchen and cooks until the ancestors say that's enough.
Here's my question for you. I sat through the film known as Green Book.
I haven't seen Green Book yet.
Okay, so at one point in time, Viggo Mortensen says, "I know more about your people than you do."
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He totally says that because
even the character back then didn't.
So this other like world-renowned composer who was brought up in a completely different world, he goes to the deep south, essentially goes to the deep south, and he is subjected to a lot of the Jim Crow laws, that sort of thing, something he's not used to being up north because it wasn't there. He's not allowed to eat in certain restaurants of the hotels that he's performing at and that sort of thing. If you've not seen Green Book, I'm like, I don't understand how that beat out Black Panther because I'm still angry about that.
It shouldn't have.
I'm like,
well, I reserve my judgment until I see it. Mel has seen it, so I trust her judgment until I see it. I'm gonna wait. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how good Panther was. I know how good Klansman was. There's still a couple movies that got nominated for Best Picture that I haven't seen yet because I just haven't had the time to watch them. So I reserve my judgment, but I am skeptical.
I was skeptical too, and I watched Green Book. Viggo Mortensen plays like this white Italian type of dude who's brought up. He's like the ghetto type of Italian guy, part mafia, part bouncer, whatever. And so this educated black man hires him to drive him through the South. And he picks him because of the fact that this, Viggo's all about, he will punch a dude in the face if this guy
Tracy Morgan will punch a dude in the ding dong.
There you go. And, I was
my dingling. Yeah, so he hires this guy to drive him through the South on his tour. And so he starts to encounter all of the bias and the racism and the bigotry that's associated with the fact of him being a person of color who is an accomplished composer. His music is amazing. He's like, nobody can play Mozart like me, which is entirely true. But he goes through and he's subjected to things he's not used to. And he goes like, you don't like fried chicken. And he's like, yeah, no, I don't eat that. And he goes, well, here, I understand your people better than you do. I'm like, wow, I just can't cope with this stuff. I'm like, how did this beat out Black Panther? Princess Shuri, I love her. Why do we not have this?
Yeah, we gotta watch Green Book, man, and just talk about it. This might become.
Maybe we need to do a Green Book episode. And I have to say, with Black Panther, Shuri is somebody that Zoe,
I have like a whole pop, it's right here. I have two posters of her. And in my city, in my particular city, it's not like widely known, but my particular city, we had such a huge turnout for Black Panther that Disney actually gave grants to our local education system for part of their STEM programs. Because
that's awesome.
There were people that had GoFundMe accounts to try to get inner city kids to go see Black Panther.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those things floating around online for different cities. I saw one for Cincinnati or maybe Cleveland. I saw one like that in I think Omaha, Nebraska. It was like a couple places that was like they would want to get all of the kids in a school to be able to go see the movie.
Right.
And I saw a lot of people that were doing it. I thought that was really cool. It'd be like that's
it was amazing.
Very awesome.
It was amazing.
One of my favorite things about that movie, there's a lot. I could literally sing the praises of how good that movie is.
It's great.
Wait. No.
I know.
You thought Black Panther was the weakest Marvel movie.
You know what? I'm not. Nope.
Look,
let me say this real fast because I got to get out of here, guys. But I want to say this because it's something I said on the show and it's something that relates to Mel and the show that we're on. So I want to keep it going because because that's gonna be a whole thing, Monty. And I don't even want to.
Oh no! Do you? I'm just.
Do you, boo? As they say.
Give me your space.
So when I saw, I have so many questions. I want to just.
And look, you can unsubscribe after, but Nana, NANA, subscribe to us. Come talk to us on the next shit show.
Yeah.
And you can unsubscribe after. We're no hate. We need to talk to you. But Hannibal, continue.
Yeah,
I like to love you after.
So here's I have questions, and I would love to ask those questions, and just because I'm all about perspective, and and they might have some fantastic reasons that be like some quality, be like, you know what, I see what you're saying, and you bring up some very good points. So I would love to know those things, but like I said, I got to get out of here, and I want to say this last thing real fast. I think it was like the second or third time I had come from seeing Black Panther. There was a family that was coming out the theater around the same time Shayla and I were leaving out the theater. And it was like, typical family. It was a mom, dad, a couple of kids. And it was like a girl. She must have been like 6 to 7 years old. And when he came out the theater, the little girl said to dad, she says, Daddy, you know what I want to be when I grow up? And the dad says, no, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she looked up and said something that I never heard before. She said, Daddy, I want to be a scientist like God. Shuri.
I want to
I was like,
right now.
and it hit me in the feels, and keep in mind, I don't have feelings. All right. So I was just like,
Hannibal's famous for saying this.
Yeah.
Go back and look, we
God.
got the receipts of Hannibal being famous for saying this.
Yes. It's just like this is, and it was like, and it hit me because that was the first time I had ever heard a young Black girl say, I want to be a scientist.
Representation matters.
Representation is so important. And I have a lot of my friends that aren't Black, a lot of my white friends that was like, they thought Black Panther was okay. It wasn't as good as everybody tried to make it out to be. And then when I talk to them, they'll be like, oh, what didn't you like about it? And it was like, well, the movie was just so Afrocentric. It was just everybody was Black. It was all this and all that. And it's like, how am I supposed to be able to enjoy a movie, if there's nobody that looks like me in the movie?
That's the freaking point.
Look, can I say something before you say your next thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Going along with that, how the fuck do you think we enjoy movies?
That was actually the point that I was about to say. Like,
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something different.
Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to enjoy a movie that doesn't have anybody that looks like me or scenarios I can connect with. I say easy. It's the same way people of color have been doing it for years. I didn't have to see. I didn't have to see Lando Calrissian in Star Wars in order to appreciate Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There are almost no Black people in Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. It doesn't stop them from being great.
And you don't have to be white. Like I want to talk to you. We want to talk to you about this because I'm curious. You could be right, and we're not saying you're wrong, but I want to have this conversation. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm always. Anytime I meet somebody who doesn't,
it's not a race thing.
It's not a race thing at all. It's just anytime I meet anybody who it would be. I get as passionate whenever I meet people that don't like Eminem. They'd be like, "Oh, Eminem is trash." I said, "No, there's a lot of things you can call him, but one thing you can't call him is trash. That dude can rap."
Okay, as a scientist, I have to say, and as an educator for science, I have to say Princess Shuri is my favorite Disney princess because she's absolutely brilliant.
I mean, Princess Shuri was awesome. But she was no Valerie Thomas.
but it's like the very end of Black Panther, they end it on science education, and she's given the spearhead of saying you are in charge of educating the next generation. And to me, that hit me right in the feels.
Yes.
And I just it's just I was like, oh my gosh. It's funny because the night that Carrie Fisher died, the night that Carrie Fisher died, the next day, that was during the time that Hidden Figures was in the theater. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I had already seen Rogue One. I'm actually drinking out of that glass right now. I'm drinking actually out of a Rogue One glass. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've lost Carrie Fisher. She's freaking amazing. I'm like, I can't sit through Rogue One again because of that reason. I went and saw Hidden Figures because I want to see real heroes. I want to see real women that have done things that have contributed to science. And I went. There were so many people there. We cheered. We cried. We hollered. It was like such an amazing experience to see these women overcome what they had to overcome to do the things that they love.
Yeah.
So coming back to Valerie Thomas and Princess Shuri and everybody else who's had to fight against societal norms in order to do what they enjoy, what they love, to better the world in general. It's just, when I saw Black Panther, I'm a white woman. Okay, I get that. I have my own particular privilege, and I understand that.
Hey, Mel, we don't see color at Hannibal and Monty's 5H1 t-shirt.
That's okay.
Even though Monty uses colors every day, you know what I'm saying? But I understand that, but I know I'm going to be treated differently. Mike is muted. He doesn't know it. That's funny to me.
I'm going to be treated differently than a woman of color, and I understand that. And I am going to be treated differently for that reason. So when I saw Black Panther and I saw Princess Shuri, I saw strength, I saw power, I saw somebody that could sit there and say, hey, I'm smart, I'm capable, I'm amazing. I can do all of these things. I have my own lab. You can be this too. And I was like, how awesome is this for people who have not seen this before? Because I haven't seen a lot of strong representation of women outside of certain superhero things or whatever. But to be able to sit there and watch a film and watch history and see there are people of color that are progressing, that are doing amazing things. And I'm like, I can't imagine what that feels like to be that person, because I don't have that same experience. But I can at least acknowledge the fact that they can say, this girl, this Princess Shuri, who's amazing, who's accepted as who she is, who's made all these wonders within Wakanda, I can do that. I can relate to that. And to me, that's so incredibly important, especially for women of color or young girls who are like, I want a science. I want to do these things. And it's just, it pulls on my heartstrings, because that really freaking matters. It really does. And I don't think people understand that so much in society.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, the moment I had with Zoe when she left Black Panther the first time was her saying that Shuri was her favorite character. She didn't say she wanted to be a scientist or anything, but she connected with Shuri. So,
I mean, and she was celebrated for her knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's something that's so important in a world where women are objectified for how they look.
Yeah. And she was smart, but not only that, she was fun. Like, you get that moment when she and T'Challa get together, and it's just like that salute is so casual, where you saw it so formal before. Like, they see each other and they're like, they give each other a dap, and then it's just, then they start talking shingles.
Why are you wearing, why are your toes exposed in my lab? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
She understands science. You don't expose toes in the lab.
It was really good. It was a really good moment. It was like regular people.
It's just, it's absolutely wonderful. And I thought, how important is it for little girls to see people who look like them being successful in such important places in our society? And to me, Valerie Thomas.
Yes. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it
on. She is a Princess Shuri, because she goes out to schools and she's like, hey, You are just like me. I am just like you. Keep going. Keep doing the thing, man. Keep doing what you love, and it's gonna fall into place. Don't stop. And it's really hard. And there's so much science and so many studies associated, particularly of women in color in the STEM fields.
Someone named Hannibal Will Metcalf says, "Your awesomeness knows no bounds, but my wallet does." Thank you, Hannibal Will Metcalf. Team Monty, everyone. That was thanks for saying that about me. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate that. I'm awesome. Hashtag Team Monty. Thank you.
Cheers.
Go get
Is
some
this
measurements,
number
please.
4? I don't know how many Valerie Thomases I'm on right now.
Yeah. But you've had a good little bit now. You can have a nice night on the town. So
You know,
Yes.
I'm not leaving my house. I have Einstein licking R2D2 in my background. You know, what more could I need?
there you go. Also, I see Vapion is in the chat. What's going on, Vapion? We were just talking about you.
Yeah, Hannibal the
How
bus
are
animal.
you?
It just because I was on the bus all the other day, and that's gonna actually be my next what's eating Hannibal is my Greyhound experience.
Teasers on DP next time we're on.
But I will say this as I make my escape. It was fun being on your show, Mel, and the same way I donated. To keep ScientistMel stream going, so that way she can give us this amazing content multiple times a week, every week. You guys should do the same thing. Also, make sure you aggressively and
Wait,
consensually.
who just played Sweet? Wait, did you hear that?
Huh?
I heard Sweet Halloween and collard greens in the background. Who did that? How did that happen?
I didn't hear that. That's pretty good. The look. Make sure you like Mel's channel.
Wait, who did that?
Who did?
Wait,
that?
I think we might have gotten a Streamlabs on our show or a sub on our show, and it played through because I'm connected to that computer.
Oh wow!
Whoever
That's
that
awesome.
new sub was, thank you. It was Hannibal screaming "Sweet Halloween" and collard greens.
Make sure, of course, subscribe to me and Monty's channel. I'm Hannibal. He is Monty. I'm about to get out of here. Make sure you donate to Mel because these shows are not cheap. I mean, and even though we find a way to do it out the kindness of our hearts because, we love entertaining you guys and in Mel's case, educating you guys, edutaining you on a regular basis. She's like the female John Oliver. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is not cheap. Like this is as Monty is wont and often to say, this is a large truck that has a lot of knobs and levers, okay, and it takes a lot. So I didn't donate a lot. I'm not as cool as I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
Andy. Yeah.
I'm not as cool as Andy. You know what I'm saying? But I still donated because it's a great show, and I think more people need to watch it. Yeah. If I had children, I would make them watch your show all the time, so they can learn the proper way to make me drinks.
I have to say, one of the sweetest things I've ever seen on some of my chats that I've had where people popped in like, my daughters watch your show and they love you. It was like, it just makes me melt. I'm just like, I'm just gonna melt into like 1,000 puddles. So it's just like, because it's what it's about. It's about trying to promote the fact that yes, you can do things and it's hard sometimes, but just keep at it.
Yeah.
The irony is whenever I get messages from people about their daughters, it's normally like, my daughter is terrified of you, stay 100 yards away at all times. It's crazy. We get very different messages about messages.
Cease and desist for Hannibal.
Guys, I got to get out of here, but I don't want to mess up the Zoom, so I'm going to leave the Zoom open. So,
all right.
See you later. Thanks so much, Hannibal.
Are we nearing the?
We're gosh, we've been almost like 3 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is a long Mel show, but then a short Hannibal Monty show.
Yes. Yes.
It's almost 3 hours. But we've talked about doing a long stream for you for a benefit.
Yeah.
Monty.
So here you go. We're gonna do a thing for Zoe soon, but yeah, we should all patch out because I gotta go correct Yasmina's pronunciation of things.
Yeah,
right there.
Thomas. Yes.
So,
yes.
So say Thomas for me. But yeah, I got to go correct. I have to go educate, and I don't like having to sit down and educate another woman because you are a smart, intelligent woman, but you're wrong.
Yeah, you are a beautiful Nubian princess, and you don't need no man.
That's right.
Yes.
Go.
Go get you a dog. It works just as well.
Yeah, I find that whenever I tell any woman that she's a beautiful Nubian princess, it doesn't matter her ethnicity. It lands every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's meaning
it's like a superhero landing, but it doesn't hurt the
wrong.
knees.
Yeah.
Does that work? So, yes, this has been an awesome Spirited Science.
About Valerie Thomas sometimes.
About Valerie Thomas. We got to it. I redirected.
We did. You did a good job of redirecting. I have to say so. You did a good job of redirecting. Yeah. And it was very entertaining. It was very informative. We learned lots of things. And yes, please subscribe to Hannibal and Monty's show. The description is in, the link
is in the description.
See, Valerie Thomas is hitting,
Valerie Thomas.
She's hitting me hard. She's like, I think this is number 4. So it's just like Valerie Thomas is like,
got 2.
Oh my gosh, you are behind.
Yeah, I'll have more after it's over.
That's okay. Yeah, if you have a whole jug, then that's appropriate. Yeah. So yes, please check out Hannibal and Monty. I have, I try to when I'm reminded, because we all forget things, we're human and stuff. So I'll try to make like little videos that they play prior to their streams.
That's right.
And I only make them live after they've aired on their show. So when they talk about roars and laws or hate bonding, that was a popular one. Yes. So stuff like that. So I do bring a little bit. Until
she tells y'all how magnets work.
Yes.
Magnets will be awesome. Clowns, we're going to work on that to where we can have a clown episode here. Check out the Smithsonian website on clowns. It's quite revealing on how they were based in actually scary stuff and not really meant to be entertaining. So, anyway, thank you, Hannibal and Monty, for being on the show. This has been absolutely amazing. And we need to do another. We need to do another one of these.
This has been awesome.
We need to do more crossover episodes. I like this. This is like when the Jeffersons would be on All in the Family, or when Urkel would pop up on Full House.
Oh my goodness! Oh
yes.
I'm gonna hurt myself laughing at this later.
Yeah, let's do this more. Thank you so much, Mel. This has been awesome.
This has been amazing. So please do check out their channel. We do a lot of crossover stuff as it is, but I hope to have you guys back.
Oh, we will be.
Keen. Okay.
Yes.
Just, pick a scientist you want, and then we'll talk about them here, and we'll see how it goes.
I've got a list of them, so I'm ready.
You're ready.
He does. He literally went through a list of scientists. It was like Pokemon. He was going through, which one, and it was like, all right, let me do this one, let me do that. He said, nope, VT. We're definitely doing VT. I said, who the F is VT? Just like
Valerie Thomas, right. Satellite Queen. So I'm going to go listen to Dave Matthews Satellite, which is a white dude singing about that.
Yes.
Listen to Satellite and then Crash right after, and then we're good. We're good to go.
Oh wow! Yeah. Do that.
We could do a whole Dave Matthews episode. I'd be all
that
the
may
way.
Be coming.
I have seen them in concert, so I could comment.
I've seen Dave Matthews in concert like 10 times.
You must be a fan.
Yes.
Charles
Crane, we are on Twitter. 5H1T Show. It's easy. Yes.
Karis.
We follow Mel.
Karis.
She tagged us.
Yeah, we're on 5H1T Show on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
And on Facebook, we are Hannibal and Monty's little show. And
Hannibal and Monty's little page, I think.
Little page.
Little page, yes.
And
page.
on Instagram, we are show. Wait, what is it?
Karis. Karis. Okay, got it.
We are show underscore 5H1T.
Yeah, on Snapchat. Yeah, show underscore 5H1T. Be careful there. I see it, but my daughter runs the Snapchat because I don't understand it.
We.
But I watch it. I see all the
You're
comments
old,
and replies.
Monty.
So watch your shit.
Yeah,
And look, I'm not censoring on that. That's my daughter I'm talking about. Watch your shit on Snapchat.
But on Instagram, and Facebook, Instagram and Twitter is a 5H1T show. So we're pretty easy to find. I am Hannibal, the Beat Animal,
and I'm Monty,
and we are Hannibal and Monty's Shit Show. And our next episode is on Wednesday.
Wednesday on
Wednesday.
The Poop Spackle Fart Muppets.
Yeah, but just so you guys know, Wednesday is our monthly torture episode. Monty and I had to listen to all 15 Insane Clown Posse albums. Monty is right at the finish line. I'm right at the beginning, so I'm only 3 albums in. But my next album, Monty, is The Great Malenko.
All right, I enjoyed that one. The one after that is my favorite ICP album.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So, my goodness. So I'll coordinate with you guys so we'll learn a bit about clowns and magnets.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys in the chat. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you, Andy, Nana, Kristen, Karis, everybody who's hopped on Vapion. Was like Thrift Store Dan.
Yes.
Ann Van, everybody, Brian Stevens, Yasmina. You guys are awesome. And so I'll end with Mr. Rogers. You always make each day special for me. You know how by just your being you. So continue being you, being awesome. And I will see you guys next time. So I'm going to throw my patron video out and then my ending video. You guys have an amazing night. And please subscribe to Monty and Hannibal. They're wonderful people. They bring in the joy. They'll put that spark back in your soul.
There you go. That's right. Soul sparking. Most people call that spark that I give them chlamydia, but you know I like the way you put it, Mel. You made it sound way cooler than what I'm giving them. But
yeah, it's all the love, isn't it? It's all about love.
It's a cream that I just spread and it just kind of.
All right, Hannibal.
Patreon video. Here we go. And also, Rhetoric and Discourse, Mark Sykes, and the Derp State are not in this video, so I'm going to make a new video soon. So there you go. Here we go.
There we go.